Get ready, Nigeria. The tracks are hot. The stakes are high. History's about to be made. The third CAA African Junior Athletics Championship storms Abeokuta, Ogun State. From July 16th to 20th, 2025, the continent's fastest, fiercest under-18 and under-20 athletes will blaze the fresh new tracks of the iconic MKO Abiola Stadium, home of champions. Over 500 stars from more than 50 African nations chasing glory, chasing gold as South Africa fights to defend its crown. This is more than a championship, it's a showcase of strength, speed, and Nigeria's unmatched hosting spirit. Don't miss the fire, the flair, the future of African athletics. Proudly brought to you by the National Sports Commission, NSC. Get ready, Nigeria. The tracks are hot. The stakes are high. History's about to be made. The third CAA African Junior Athletics Championship storms Abeokuta, Ogun State. From July 16th to 20th, 2025, the continent's fastest, fiercest under-18 and under-20 athletes will blaze the fresh new tracks of the iconic MKO Abiola Stadium, home of champions. Over 500 stars from more than 50 African nations chasing glory, chasing gold as South Africa fights to defend its crown. This is more than a championship, it's a showcase of strength, speed, and Nigeria's unmatched hosting spirit. Don't miss the fire, the flair, the future of African athletics. Proudly brought to you by the National Sports Commission, NSC. Get ready, Nigeria. The tracks are hot, the stakes are high. History's about to be made. The third CAA African Junior Athletics Championship storms Abeokuta, Ogun State. From July 16th to 20th, 2025, the continent's fastest, fiercest under-18 and under-20 athletes will blaze the fresh new tracks of the iconic MKO Abiola Stadium, home of champions. Over 500 stars from more than 50 African nations chasing glory, chasing gold as South Africa fights to defend its crown. This is more than a championship, it's a showcase of strength, speed, and Nigeria's unmatched hosting spirit. Don't miss the fire, the flair, the future of African athletics. Proudly brought to you by the National Sports Commission, NSC. Get ready, Nigeria. The tracks are hot, the stakes are high. History's about to be made. The third CAA African Junior Athletics Championship storms Abeokuta, Ogun State. From July 16th to 20th, 2025, the continent's fastest, fiercest under-18 and under-20 athletes will blaze the fresh new tracks of the iconic MKO Abiola Stadium, home of champions. Over 500 stars from more than 50 African nations chasing glory, chasing gold as South Africa fights to defend its crown. This is more than a championship.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
it's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
It's a showcase of strength, speed, and Nigeria's unmatched hosting spirit. Don't miss the fire, the flair, the future of African athletics. Proudly brought to you by the National Sports Commission, NSC. Get ready, Nigeria. The tracks are hot, the stakes are high. History's about to be made. The third CAA African Junior Athletics Championship storms Abeokuta, Ogun State. From July 16th to 20th, 2025, the continent's fastest, fiercest under-18 and under-20 athletes will blaze the fresh new tracks of the iconic MKO Abiola Stadium, home of champions. Over 500 stars from more than 50 African nations chasing glory, chasing gold as South Africa fights to defend its crown. This is more than a championship. It's a showcase of strength, speed, and Nigeria's unmatched hosting spirit. Don't miss the fire, the flair, the future of African athletics. Proudly brought.
beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
To you by the National Sports Commission, NSC. Get ready, Nigeria. The tracks are hot. The stakes are high. History's about to be made. The third CAA African Junior Athletics Championship storms Abeokuta, Ogun State. From July 16th to 20th, 2025, the continent's fastest, fiercest under-18 and under-20 athletes will blaze the fresh new tracks of the iconic MKO Abiola Stadium, home of champions. Over 500 stars from more than 50 African nations chasing glory, chasing gold as South Africa fights to defend its crown. This is more than a championship, it's a showcase of strength, speed, and Nigeria's unmatched hosting spirit. Don't miss the fire, the flair, the future of African athletics. Proudly brought to you by the National Sports Commission, NSC. Get ready, Nigeria. The tracks are hot. The stakes are high. History's about to be made. The third CAA African Junior Athletics Championship storms Abeokuta, Ogun State. From July 16th to 20th, 2025, the continent's fastest, fiercest under-18 and under-20 athletes will blaze the fresh new tracks of the...
You're welcome once again to the city named Under the Rock, a city that is hosting the best of athletes in their under-18 and under-20 levels. A city known for huge mountains and huge tourist events right here in Abeokuta, Ogun State, Nigeria. That's the view you have on your screen, and this is where we find ourselves, where the CAA under-18, under-20 African Athletics Championship is currently ongoing. The third combined edition right here in the city of Abeokuta. What a beautiful view you have right there. And this is where we are hosting over 40 nations from Africa. Over 1,000 athletes coming together to give us the best of events from day 1, day 2, and this is day 3 at the NKO Abiola Sports Arena. My name is Azubike Onicha, and you're welcome to the best of events, where Africa has come to show that they are Africans and show the best of themselves. Medals have been won, and there is still more to be given out on this beautiful day. It's a sunny Friday, a day where you know that people just feel we can go on to enjoy ourselves. But for these athletes, it is business for them until the event comes to an end. The fans are very much right here. The South Africans are also on the screen, and you can see them relaxing and enjoying themselves, waiting for their time to be called. Some of these athletes have done their part. You can see some also still exercising their bodies, making sure that they are their best before the event kickstarts. The fans are not left out. And once again, this is the best of everything happening right here in the FKO Abiola Sports Arena. I'm not going to be doing this alone. I've got my analysts, Otoye Iworima, doing this with me. Great to have you around, Otoye.
Thank you, Zubike. Like we said, that this is day 3 of the CAA African Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championship. As a former athlete, you know, we like morning sessions, afternoon sessions of the event. Typically, we have fewer events in the morning session because we would like to do it when the weather is warmer in the afternoon. So most of the events are in the afternoon. So the morning session, you use it for a lot of the heats, and also for the session for the decathletes and the heptathletes also. But you can see athletes, they're outside taking their warm-up because athletes have to be in the call room at about an hour before their event. So a lot of the athletes that have events this morning will be there warming up in the call room, preparing to do the checks. Because there are some technicalities that goes with actually the equipment the athletes use. So the type of spike shoe you use vary from event to event, and there are different criteria that the spike shoe have to have. So you have to go for like inspections, the length of the spike nail, the type of the spike shoe, the heel, the pad that it has, all those things come into play. So these are all the things that they check in the call room before the athletes come out for their events.
All of this have been looked at, and that's why we brought some expert opinions into this, and some expert views also. Otoye is a former silver and even the bronze medalist in different events representing Nigeria earlier in the years. I'll talk more about that in a bit. But at this point, we'll focus on what is currently happening. Selfies being taken, people responding to mails, people focusing on what's going to be happening. And so much to take place today. We saw a clean sweep for Nigeria, the under-18 100 meters for women. The under-18 100 meters race for women yesterday. 3 girls going on to win all medals, gold, silver and bronze, coming for second and third. And we also had a South African who is Nigerian, running for South Africa, coming fourth in that race. These young boys are also here. They have been very much present in every of the races. Seeing themselves on the big screen gives them that joy and that smile. What an ecstasy for them. A moment they might never, ever forget. You can see the joy you have around from different parts from Africa, gathering in one stadium. This is just what it is about. Fun, but at the same time, competition. Not putting just the competition forward, forgetting that we also have to have fun. We have the Botswanan officials also very much right here. The joy they have and the focus they also have in this event, and they've not really done badly for all we've seen so far. We've got a line of events that we're going to be looking at today, being day 3. I'll take them one at a time in no particular order. For Decathlon, we'll be seeing the men also participate in the hurdles event, the 110 meters hurdles for the men. We'll also be looking at the Discus that we'll be throwing for the Decathlon today. More also to happen today is the Discus women in the 20 final. We also have the 1,500 meters, one of the late events we'll be having later today. There are also events for the morning, and all of them have been lined up for you. So all you just need to do is sit back, relax, and let's enjoy the best of everything together. That's one thing for sure. You cannot take it away from this great environment that we have put together. Over 40 nations, over 1,000 athletes, 110 of them from the host nation, Nigeria, a country that is still looking to finish first above South Africa since the combined event started. South Africa won the first event in 2019, having Kenya finish second and Nigeria finished third. 2 years ago in 2023, it was South Africa winning again, and Nigeria finishing second. The host nation this time around took up the opportunity, having seen that Algeria was not able to carry on. It was thrown open to them by the CAA, and they took advantage of the fact that they just hosted the National Sports Festival. Within months, they were able to put this together, and that's what you have on your screen. Seeing fans and athletes from different countries come together to participate in different events. We've seen high jump, we've seen long jump, we've seen triple jump, we've seen 400 meters, we've seen 100 meters, we've seen 1,500 meters, we've seen 3,000 meters. We've also seen another middle distance race or marathon race in 10,000 meters.
Thank you. God bless you.
It's just been beautiful from start till this point. Different athletes from different countries. It looked like we had Kenya dominate. Uganda also did well yesterday. Day one, it was more of South Africa winning almost all the medals. And the Nigerians are still celebrating the fact that their first medal came, even if it was a bronze, from high jump. Ikweki Praise is that man's name. It was all celebrated yesterday while he was presented with his medal. But today, it is going to be a different kettle of fish.
Yes, speaking about events we have today, the Decathlon, which is a 10 events in one for the men, and we have the one for the women, which is called the Heptathlon, which is 7 events. We had 5 events for the men yesterday, so we have another 5 today. They will start with the 110 hurdles, followed by the discus, then followed by the pole vault, then the javelin. Then we'll have the finale with the 1,500 meters.
We're also looking forward to the hammer throw and discus, which will be starting up in a bit. And you just want to keep looking at the South Africans and how much success they have brought into this event. 70 of them have come here, and one of the officials was interviewed yesterday, and he said, we pick the best of them. We give them all they have to get, the kind of training they have to get from the younger ages. And just like I mentioned earlier, it's time for the hammer throw, but it's just some warm-up, just for you to look at what it looks like. The spin, release that hammer. The one who has the longest distance wins it. Otonya.
Yes, and we have the technicality for the hammer. If you could see the nets there, that is a standard rule. It's a safety measure that is put in place so that when the hammer is thrown and there's a mistake made, it doesn't go into the audience. So we are doing, the hammer event is for the under 18 men, which is the 5 kilogram weight. We have the 3 kilos for the under 18 women, and the technique is that it's done in a circle. You have to do your spin, about 3 spins, then throw the hammer in the designated arc, and the farthest distance is the one that wins. If you step out of the circle before the hammer drops, it is considered a no-throw. And if he steps out of the arc, it's also considered a no-throw.
Thank you for that expert analysis, Otoye. And just to remind you, that's just a view of the athletes getting ready for it. Once the game kick starts, we join them right away. For now, we're just going into the 400 meters, and the females are getting ready for this one. The under 18 females are getting ready for their race, and that will be the first team event that will be starting off with. Like I reminded you, we'll be switching also with the hammer throw as they also get ready for what is upcoming. See athletes from different nations. We have the camera on the Nigerian athletes who is very much ready for this one.
Ladies and gentlemen,
400 meters, under 18 women is what we are starting with. These are the young girls who will most likely be ruling the continent and even the globe in the nearest future. But they have to start. Most of them have been caught younger, and they have grown to reach this height. What a reach we have in 400 meters, under 18 for women. Otonya, these ladies look very much prepared.
Yes,
as
they
they set
do.
their tracks.
Yes, they do. And as the rule states, when they start the event, they follow their lanes, and they follow their lanes till they get to the end. Unlike when you do that in the 4x4 relay, where after the first leg, the second legs, they can now move into the first lane and then start running there. It's an event also where they use the starting block, which also has its own technique. Everybody has a unique way of starting and measuring their stride. And Nigeria has a very good history with this event. So does the South African. So we're really expecting a lot from our Nigerian athletes.
A lot from them. Seen about 2 of them taking their positions, getting ready as they just rehearse, running and getting back on track, or just to be fully prepared and weighed off all of those pressure coming your way. There is no space to be agricultural at any point with these races. You have to be at your best from start to finish.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So
400 meters on the routine women final about to start. We have on lane 8, athlete 129. Manu Esther, representing Ghana. Lane 7, 912, Ghana Ayele, Ethiopia.
You have the Ethiopian also represented right here. Very much ready for this race. Focus telling you that they are not only ready for long distance races, and they've shown it right here, the East Africans. Also got a Zimbabwean ready for this race.
Yes, it's good to note that the African record for the under 18 is actually held by Favor Ofili with a time of 52 seconds 28, which is set in 2019. So it's really ours to lose.
Still very young at this point, 22 years. This lady, she's looking to do it again. She had run a good race the last time, and that's the same mindset she must have come here with for a race like this.
voilà, mesdames et messieurs, les concurrents pour cette finale U-18 de 400 mètres femmes.
Abeokuta, Hassan Bisola, it's a lady. That was John for Nigeria, and you also have a Tunisian for this race. They go on their tracks right away. Getting ready for this race. You did an expert prediction yesterday. Otoya, who are we looking at winning this one this time? Putting you on the spot. But hold your thoughts. The race has kick-started. See, under 18 400 meters for women. See how they are going about it. It's expected lane 8 should be in front. But gradually, we're seeing the Nigerian take over. We'll have somebody down already. She keeps that pace. The Nigerian athletes. Jennifer Chama-Nwachukwu looks to be leading this race. You have another Nigerian in second position as she takes on the final 100 meters. It looks like Jennifer Nwachukwu will win this one. You have our fellow Nigerian Bisola Hudson Abeokuta following up on second. The motivation is still coming for them. It's a victory for that beautiful lady. Jennifer Chama-Nwachukwu winning the race, and Hassan Abeokuta finishing second, with the Ethiopian coming third.
Now I can do my prediction. I predict that Nigeria will come first and second.
That's a very funny one. I didn't see this coming actually. Well, you know she can always be smart with the way she does things. Good one for Ethiopia. Like I mentioned earlier, they've told you that it's not just about the long distance races. We are also very good when it comes. We're also very good when it comes to running these races, and that's what Ethiopia has done, coming third behind two Nigerians. Just to recap of what we saw earlier, it was a switch. Ethiopian came just from behind, going past the Zimbabwean, finding a way through and keeping that position. It was almost a battle between third and fourth.
Yes, this is our, like we said, this is our specialty. We have an Olympic medal to prove that in the 400 meters women and 4x4. So it is our event to lose, and we have proven that yes, we are in the forefront when it comes to the 400, followed by the Ethiopian. This is a race that they are really trying to get into, and it looks as if they're off to a good start.
And you can see them running around, Majakodumi Hafson, and also the winner, Jennifer Choma-Nwachukwu, leading the park, holding on to the Nigerian flag and flying it really high. So much joyous to give themselves the hug. What can be more joyous? Just to remind you, Nigerian still holding on to that medal. It's been now having another Nigerian takeover. The last time in 2019, actually, it was the lady who set the record, Favor Philly. But before we go back into that, we have an athlete who is down on the grass. The Tunisian actually went down at some point in time. Painful for her, not as planned. That should be Tamsin Ben Ali. Tamsin Ben Ali, not happy with the situation. Looks unconscious a bit, but joyfully she's walking herself. She's been told to take a seat. Not so sure what exactly must have gone to or happened to her. But we'll get back into that in a bit.
Yes, so I would like to note that in the last championship, Nigeria was second, was the South Africans first, Nigeria second, and then South African third. So we have kind of like turned the tables this time. So we have taken the first and the second.
Again.
Yes, it's ours. I believe it's ours to take. So congratulations to our girls or women.
So when you hear Otoye say we, she was an athlete, retired but not tired. So she's speaking for Nigeria when she says we. One who has said it all, been there, done that. The Commonwealth, the Olympics, the Africa Games. She is fully in support of those who have won it. Just a reminder, Jennifer Choma-Nwachukwu of BIP number 225 won the 400 meters under 18 for women. And we saw Bisola Hassan Majakodumi come second. The Ethiopian finished third in this race, and it's a joy also for her to hold on to that position. See, wishing and hoping that the Tunisian Tamsin Ben Ali will be back at her best. So we hope for at this point. Standing by as we move on for the next race we'll be having is the under 18 400 meters for male. These are your athletes that you are looking at having at this point in time. They are getting close to being ready. You have athletes like Kennedy Erijowe coming in for this one. That's the Nigerian representing Nigeria. You've also got the Botswanan getting ready for this race, doing as much as he can to pray up. But while we wait, we quickly link up with Manny for the interviews with the two Nigerians who have just finished so well, first and second position.
Welcome guys, it's day 3 at the 3rd CAA African Championships, and what a way to begin the day for Nigerian athletes who just came out tops at the under 18 400 meters. Gold and silver medalists. I've got Majakodumi who came second. I mean, it was emotional after the race for you. Describe that feeling for us.
It's like because I wasn't expecting that. Because when I checked the time, I was told overall, but she motivated me that no problem, I should be scared. I should just follow her the way she's going. And thanks to our coach too, Coach Daniel, he's telling me, don't worry, you got this. Just follow her, you have changed for this. My coaches too, my family.
Thank you very much. I mean, still panting, still coming out. So yeah, you came on tops. Just describe how the race was for you.
Just like on Monday, I did an easy pace of 53. So today I was like, there was no need of me going fast. I should just like do an easy pace of maybe like 52. So to check if I'm still like feeling good, still in shape, stuff like that. And that's what I just did.
All right, it was a beautiful race. Congratulations. We'll still head back to the track. We'll come away again.
Thank you, Vani. Almost so emotional. She was almost going to shed tears right there. Came up second, but you cannot take away the fact that she did what she had to do. Bisola Hafsin, Maja Kodumi, congratulations to you. And we get back to the 400 meters under 18 for men. We've got Esson Solomon Tosin representing Nigeria for this one. We've also got Sang Robert from Kenya, very much right here for this race.
Yes, in this race we have the championship record and also the African record for the under 18 men, held by Nigeria by Samuel Uchenna Ogazi with a time of 46.01 seconds. So as usual,
it's most likely want to break it at this point. Yeah. We're going into the race, and this is the start list. Dintwa Sone of Botswana is very much on this race. These are some of the beautiful athletes that we're looking forward to. They're getting on their tracks right away. It's about time to begin for this interesting race to kickstart. Gunshot is up, and they are up with the race. It's looking very competitive. The two Nigerians look like they are fighting it against themselves. It's a continuing thingy. It's a switch right now. Looks like the Kenyan has taken over. It's a strong competition between them. And you just wonder who's going to win this one. And you see what the Kenyan is doing. It looks like he has won this one. And then the third person goes down in the end. What a beautiful race we've just seen. Just how you expected it to be for the men, it has happened for that man. I mentioned his name earlier. We saw him just 2 days ago with the beautiful race he had. And this time around, it looks like he has done it again. What a race that Kenya have just had. What a beautiful performance from start to finish. Araka Simeon is the name of that man. And you must mark that name. The gold medalist for the 400 meters under 18 men.
Yes, we want to say congratulations to the Kenyans. At this point, it's like no longer a surprise that they've infiltrated every other event aside from the long distance. So congratulations, Kenyans, first and second in this under 18 400 meters men event.
Just a recap of what you saw earlier. Those were the Nigerians and trying to do their thing. It wasn't the best of results for them. Solomon Tosin Esson doing as much as he could, but couldn't get that result I wanted. But look at the way the Kenyans switched some paces at the end of it. Robert Sang, part of this one, but the man who won it, like I mentioned earlier, is Araka Simeon. What a race he ran. Look at the competition towards the end, the photo finish we had right there. Well, it looks like the Kenyan actually came second in this one. Robert Sang is his name. So we have Araka Simeon and Robert Sang doing it for the under 18. We wait to confirm officially what it was for all three of the athletes who came first, second, and third. A beautiful race. Like you said earlier, the Kenyans are not giving up at any point. But I said something. It looks like they have also relinquished their position gradually as far as winning the long distance races is concerned. Uganda looks like they are also taking over, and Ethiopia are also coming back strongly.
Actually, the Ethiopians, when it comes to the long distance, are a lot more dominant now than the Kenyans are, but sometimes it's like a bit of a tussle between the two countries. Like you said, Uganda, Tanzania also is also the jostling for that top position when it comes to the long distance. But even other African countries, the North African countries like Morocco, they are also in there.
You're showing that confidence also,
yeah.
and tenacity. Not forgetting the South Africans.
Yes,
and let's really confirm the result for the women as quickly as possible. Abeokuta, Jennifer won, and we have Ben Ali Tasmin also on top for the 400 meters under 18 women. Let's run down to Manny immediately.
All right, we saw the 400 meters for the men, we saw it for the women earlier, but this time it is not the Nigerians, it is the Kenyan doing it. And with me, I've got the winner. His name is Simeon, still trying to catch his breath. Simeon, how does that feel for you?
I feel good. First, I would like to thank God for enabling me to reach this far. I did not hope to be number one, but it's all about God's plans. Yeah.
Tell us about your preparations for this race today. I mean, coming to Nigeria, the weather, how you prepared, how has it been like for you?
Here it has been so hard for me, but I have taken it as a man. Yeah.
So what can you say to the people of Kenya watching you back home?
I love you all my fans. I love Kenya and everything there. Yeah.
All right, Simon just still catching his breath, and he's done it for the men, for the Kenyans, for the 400 meters under 18 men. We've still got more races to come your way. Thank you so very much, Simon, and we wish you all the best. Back to the team of commentaries, Azu and Otonye.
Thank you, Manny. Araka Simeon right there, the gold medalist, your gold medalist, the Kenyan doing it. And don't think he immediately started a long distance race. It was just a 400 meter sprint for the under 18 men, and it was a beautiful result for them. Araka Simeon coming first and Sang Robert coming second in this event. We'll get the exact time they run on the screen in a bit. While we wait for that, we enjoy the fact that even the officials are enjoying the games. As you cannot leave out the beautiful mascot for this event.
Yes, we know that the national animal for Nigeria is the eagle, and here is represented in the design that was made for the mascot for this event.
And you know how strong the eagle can be, how resilient the eagle can be.
Oh yes.
That's what Nigeria is. That's why the football team calls them the Super Eagles, or they are called the Super Eagles actually. We love what we see right here. 2 races, and Kenya winning for the men. You also have Nigeria winning for the women. What has to be done to also see the men live up to expectation?
The thing is that you don't put the same expectation on the men as the men. You put on the women on the men. Like for me, both genders have the different expectations. So, like I said, there is more competition when it comes to the men's event. You tend to see more heat. You tend to see more men taking part in these competitions. So the women have their strength, the men have their strength, and you have to treat it accordingly to the strengths that each gender has.
Some beautiful view. Don't force anyone to do what they most likely are not fit for. It's just a time for them to do what they have to do, and they're getting it right, so hold on to it. As usual, the fans are here. The security forces are also very much right here. They will not be left out of this. As they watch, they are also doing all they can to make sure that everything is secure.
Yes, and if you don't want to be left out also, if you're in the vicinity, if you're in Abeokuta, come and join us.
Let's quickly run through the results once again. The 400 meters under 18 women final. Abeokuta Jennifer ran a time of 52.47 seconds. We had Majakudumi Hafsin Bisola come second with a silver race time of 54.43 seconds. A beautiful run was seen from these athletes, and what a joy for those two Nigerians to do what they have to do.
As it stands, I think she probably broke the championship record, so it's a result that is going to be verified to check, but it looks as if she has broken the championship record.
So it's exactly like you mentioned, and we're looking forward to even more beautiful events. The fans are not left out. They are here again to smile and also applaud their athletes, scream, roar, and smile when they see themselves on the screen. It's going to be Tonya's time today. I'll tell the camera to bring that on to Tonya. It's been a long time I saw on cameras. I'm tired of talking to you just by my side.
The voice sounds good all the same, so whether you see me on camera or you hear my voice, you're going to enjoy watching this CAA Under 18, Under 20 Athletics Championship.
I love your confidence. You feel the voice sounds good. It's good to know what you've got. And truly, the voice sounds good. We are still very much right here at the CAA Under 18, Under 20 Africa Athletics Championship, happening right here under the rock, as the city is popularly known in Yoruba, Abeokuta. That's what it means in Yoruba language, one of the top languages in Nigeria. That's where this event is currently ongoing at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena in same city, Abeokuta. And I tell you, it is one place you have to be at this point. You could have been seeing it from your house or from your YouTube. It's time for you to come into the stadium and witness these things live. You don't have to even pay to get in. That's how lenient it's been, and that's how lovely it can always be. Let's now look at what the men also did, and we have your results very much ready. As quickly as possible, we run through it. Kenya came first, Araka Simeon, 47.46 seconds. We have Ghana's Tete Philip Oja coming second with a time of 47.87, and Sang Robert from Kenya also coming third, 47.89. That's the confirmation. In a bit, we'll get into Discus just to see exactly what it feels like having such an event. A couple of people are waiting for this, and I tell you.
Yes, like you were saying, the discus is part of the 3 throws we have in track and field. In track and field, we have field events. In the field events, we have 3 throws, we have 3 jumps. We have the discus for the throw, the shot put, and the hammer. And we have for the jumps, the high jump, the long jump, and the pole vault. So the throws usually done in a circle arc. They typically have almost the same type of rule, that you have to make sure that you're in the arc when you throw and you don't step out before the discus or javelin lands on the floor. If not, it's a no throw. Or if it goes out of the sector, it's also a no throw.
Let's switch now to discus throw as quickly as possible, where it is happening right here at the MKO Abiola Under 18, Under 20 Africa Athletics Championship. That's the CAA Africa Under 18, Under 20 Athletics Championship at this beautiful stadium. This is where it is going to be happening, and it's just a view of what you will be having in a bit. And then the first athlete we have got right here for the discus is right there in the net, just making sure that all is protected and there are no issues. It looks like a poor throw. Hit the net, couldn't go out, and that's just the reason the net has been put right there, so that when the throw is wayward sometimes, it is easily controlled. The little space that has been left open, or that wide opening, is to show you that that's the only place that your throw can go through.
Yes, that net is usually set there in a kind of like a U-shaped formation, so that there's a small opening where the throwers can throw out, and the person that throws the farthest inside that sector without stepping out of the circle before the discus lands is the winner.
And we have the next person from Algeria, Touati Walid. He does his own throw, but he steps out of the circle. That should be a neutral.
Yes. And like we said in the shot put also, if you deliberately also step out, if you feel that, oh, my throw is not good and you don't want them to measure it, you can deliberately just step your foot out.
And you have how many opportunities?
You have three. Each athlete has 3 initial opportunities. So if there are more than 8 athletes, you will have your first 3. And when you pick when you do the first 3, they pick the longest and they choose the final 8 and they do another 3.
And that's another athlete making his throw. And just to give you a rundown for the under 20 men Decathlon Discus, Isani Medi, Emmanuel Blessing of Nigeria, South Africa's Abeokuta, Algeria's Getas Walid Fares. We also have the Algerian right there on the list. These are the guys currently having their discus throw for the Decathlon, another event from the 10 that will be taken.
Yes,
that's a throw.
Yes, it is a throw. This is the 6th event of the Decathlon. They've done the 110 hurdles this morning, so this is the 2nd event today. That's the discus.
And we just saw a South African make his throw. Coetzee. Now it's time for Blessing Emmanuel. He won the 100 meters and the 400 meters yesterday. He wants to do the same with discus. He didn't have to spin.
He did a standing throw. It's what we call a standing throw. There are 2 ones. You can do the standing throw or you could do the spin. This spin is more effective because you gather momentum to throw. Standing throw is if you are not very conversant with the spin, then you do the standing throw so as not to foul any throws.
There's another opportunity for that man to make his own throw. Getas Walid Fares beat number 693, the man from Algeria. One of the Algerians. We have got 4 of them in this event. He has taken his time, makes a spin, and makes that throw.
Another rule to note for the hammer is that when you finish throwing, you cannot step out in front. You have to come out from the back of the circle. If you step out in front, it's also considered a no throw.
That's so it has to be intentional stepping out.
Yes.
You cannot be unprofessional at this point.
Unless you want to be.
Unless you want to be. While we enjoy the discus throw, we'll get back to it in a bit. We've got Manny on the pitch side, and we've got another great interview from one of the top people from this event. Manny, take it away.
All right, we're still here at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena. With me, I've got a retired athlete. His name is Emmanuel Abeokuta. He's someone who's been there, who's done that. And I mean, we just saw a Kenyan, pick up gold at the under 18 400 meters. Overall, how has the Kenyans impressed you here today so far?
The Kenyans are doing well. Shifting from the distance running to the sprints, they're turning things around. So they are doing well, marvelously well.
Well, your country is known for long distance races. I mean, but now we see 100 meters, we see 200, 400 meters. How has the transition been like?
They are Kenyans, we are Ghanaians. So Ghana is doing their well. We are doing our best in the sprint. You see, we came to the finals, and this time we came second to the 400 meters. So probably we are doing our best to get much medals for this competition. Not aside, we still have some competitions. We are going to finals, so at least we are hoping for medals at those the rest of the events.
Well, this is day 3. We've still got 2 more days to the end of the event. What are your expectations for the rest of the Kenyan athletes who are here in Nigeria and competing?
The Kenyan athletes are not my problem. Mine is Ghanaian athletes. So I'm concentrating on Ghanaian athletes, how we are going to excel in the other events, the rest of the events. So Kenyans are doing their best. Ghana, we are going to do our best to win some medals too.
Well, for Ghana as well, I mean, the talk has been, the athletes competing here in Nigeria, not too far away from Nigeria. And when it comes to these events, South Africans have been dominating. Do you think they pose a huge threat to Ghanaian athletes today? Can Ghana topple South Africa when it comes to medals in this event?
The medals, they are ahead of us because they came with a lot of contingents. Ghana came with a few contingents. But we are doing our best to win some medals, at least to make Ghana proud. So the rest of the events that are left, I see Ghana we have that kind of capability that they can win some medals in that event.
Thank you very much. I wish you and the Ghanaians all the best. Well, still got discus going here so far in this MKO Abiola Arena Sports for this third CAA event. Over to the team of commentaries, Azu and Otoye.
Thank you, Manny. And that's one of the retired athletes currently present right here, coming to support his Ghanaians. Discus throw still ongoing, and maybe you are watching from their office and you want to watch from your own home when you get back home. Different stations both in Nigeria and abroad are showing this one, and you can also view from AIT, OGTV, Supersport 208 channel. There's also Startimes. We've got SABC Sports. There's also TVC, and you can also watch while driving or on the road on your YouTube channel from Team 33 production. The Discus throw is still very much ongoing. That's the one for the Decathlon under 20 men. When I say drive and watch, you're not the one driving the car. You're driving your phone, actually. You could just watch from that comfort. Please stay away from your phone while you drive. That's the rule. Thank you, my producer, for giving me that reminder. Like I mentioned, we've got the athletes very much right here for the Discus under 20 Decathlon men. And this is the Algerian taking another opportunity again from the first three. Getas Walid Fares. It's not been as convincing as you expect, but they're under 18s. In their 16th, 17th.
Yes, one of the things people like to look out for is the spin of the discus. If it's spinning straight, people actually think it's a very good throw. If it's wobbling, people don't really think, but it's still a good throw, nevertheless.
So
and
which
really
covers more distance?
That's the thing. If it's spinning straight, it's there's less disturbance of the disc. But then again, it depends on how much power you apply. So, like I said, in the end, it's who throws the farthest.
It's who throws the farthest. The most important thing is the fact you don't get off the circle, and that's what this man will try to do right now. Touati Walid of Algeria.
That looks like a no throw.
Looks like he stepped
out
of that arc. It's going to be a painful one for him. Still doing the rehearsal. He wants to be sure all is well.
You want to make sure that arc is clean of debris, sand, and anything that could cause a slip for the athletes. So the officials tend to, from time to time, after, because each athlete can drag in sand or anything. So from time to time, you have to clean.
Exactly.
It also applies when it rains, because when it rains, also you see them. There's a towel or sponge, something that like absorb water.
Yeah.
They have to clean it from time to time to avoid slip.
Yeah.
Also, there's a particular shoe that throwers wear. There's actually throwers shoe also. That has
different
a
from the
proper
spikes
grip.
from runners?
Yes, there's no spike in it because the arc is made of it's a solid, so it's like a
rough
material
edges.
that has a proper grip so that you don't slip.
It's been a learning curve for me. You can call me the commentator, but I tell you, I've learned so much from Otoye right here. I'll save a number thrice, 3 different platforms, so I don't get to miss out on any of them. Taking you back until the Discus. The Nigerian Blessing Emmanuel, the only one standing in for the country, the host nation I'm in, is still very much right here. And he's going to be taking his own throw right now. We didn't do a spin the first time. Let's see if there's going to be a difference. Also doesn't do a spin. Believes his strength will be up for him. It's not about how much it rolls, it's where it lands first that counts.
The thing is that if you can't do the spin, if you're not really good with the technique, it's better you do what you know than what you don't know. Because if he spins and he faces the wrong way, it goes into the net and he will not register a throw. So it's better you do what you know than try. Now is not the time for you to come and start practicing.
You must have done all of those rehearsals behind the scenes. But he's really done what he knows how to do. Won the 100 meters yesterday, Blessing Emmanuel, and also the 400 meters. That's the man you have on your screen. Beep number 616, the only Nigerian for the Decathlon. So brave, had the hurdles earlier, wasn't amongst the top 3. It was really, maybe a disappointing event for him recently. But he will keep in touch with what he's been able to do and look forward to also get more as the events go on. Still about 4 events to go for the athletes, and they're taking it one step at a time.
Yeah, the thing about the decathlon is that if you're not very good in one event, you make up for it in another event. So you cannot be good in all of them. That's just the thing.
That's just one beautiful stuff. 10 events, and how much points you can garner is what makes you the champion, not how many races you win that makes you victorious. While this discourse is still very much ongoing, we'll meet up with them in a bit. We've got medal presentations happening right here at the main bowl, the MKO Abeokuta Stadium. This is the bronze medalist from Ghana. He's been given his medal and his bouquet. While we also have the silver medalist come on the podium, ready to take his medal. Otoye really enjoyed the art showcase she saw yesterday from the ladies. I think it's some different culture this morning.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the EFIC. That's the South traditional costume.
Showing different parts of Nigeria as far as culture is concerned. And this is a Kenyan who's won a silver for himself. Also gotten his silver medal and his bouquet. Well, we also expect the gold medalist to take the podium as he is being introduced. Another Kenyan for gold. Still dominating this event. They look like they will be amongst the top as far as this is concerned. Great performance from the Kenyan so far. They've also started brightly this morning within the 400 meters man. And he gets the medal also. We'll be hearing the Kenyan national anthem soon. Very short in a bit, and you know how short that can be, so don't sleep on it. That's the Kenyan anthem. Very lovely, very brief. You can hear the roars and the screams of the fans celebrating their champion, gold medalist for this event. It's time for pictures. All three of them come together. Also have the award presenter or the medals presenter coming to join them on the podium. Having received their medals. You know that feeling. Otoye, you've been on this podium a couple of times. What does it feel like? Which one is more gracious for you? Which one is more glorious? When you finish the race or win the medal? When you're presented the medal or when you win a particular position? Maybe from a race or from a jump?
It might be when you finish the jump, because you know back then the adrenaline is flowing. By the time you get the medal, you know you've already probably calmed down. Then that has a different type of feeling. So I would say both of them have different types of feelings.
I want to have it. I think the last time I had it,
once
I woke
again,
up immediately.
Athletes whose events have been concluded yesterday.
That was a good dream.
Please report for the award of medals now.
They say dreams come true.
Whose events have been finalized
they do.
yesterday.
Don't mind my age.
Please report for the award of medals.
I still have men of my age doing athletics, throwing and doing a hammer. Some of them still running actually.
Yes.
I tell you, if I do 200 meters, I start panting. I just want to get on the football field and do the light work I can do.
I remember an athlete, 100-meter athlete, Marlene Oti. She stayed till almost her 40s. Her last Olympics, she actually was part of the finalists to tell you how good she was. She was
Which event
Jamaican.
again?
100 meters women.
Give it to the Jamaicans when it comes to 100 meters. I tell you, it's becoming competitive at this point with them.
And that's a good thing. Usually when you see the two genders, it's a lot more competitive with the women. You see the interchange, one wins today, another wins today. There's a little more consistency with the men, although this time around it's kind of open, both the 100 and the 200, but most of the time there's a lot more consistency with the men than it is in the women's event.
Facts you just mentioned right there. Thank you, Tonya. We get back up to the Decathlon, and the hammer throw still very much ongoing for the under-20s men. That man from South Africa is next up. Kweti is his name. He's ready to take his own discus and make a good throw.
For any of the field events.
They have to take advantage of the three. And I think at this point, we'll soon start having the best of them. As we start separating the boys from the men. As far as this is concerned, Discus.
The separation is where you don't make any of those three throws, then you've automatically removed yourself. Unless you have such a high score with all your other events that you don't need to make up, which has never happened before.
It's time for Algeria, who have dominated this event as far as numbers is concerned, to have it. There's Walid Faras getting ready. It's also a good throw.
Yes.
That looks a good throw. Let's move on from the discus back to the medals presentation as quickly as possible. And just to show you, it is for the under-18 girls that just had their 400 meters run and not quite long. So joyful, they won first and second position. They'll be winning. They'll be presented with the gold and silver medals. We also have an Ethiopian making it to the top three for this huge event for the under-18 women.
One athletics council member, Mrs. Beatrice Akure. Bronze, third place and bronze medalist, Beset Beshlem, Ethiopia.
And the Ethiopian mounts the podium, ready for a bronze medal. So much joy for her, Beset Benchalem, because that's your bronze medalist from Ethiopia.
Medalist Maja Kodome has from Nigeria.
And your silver medalist is Hafsan Bisola Maja Kodome, the lady who almost shed tears while being interviewed, how much she felt emotional. Picks up a silver medal from Nigeria, the under-18 women 400 meters silver medalist. And you have your number one, the under-18 African athletics champion for 400 meters, dancing her way to the podium. Jennifer Choma Wachuku is her name, and she cannot just hold back those smiles. What a joy it is for her. She's picked up that medal for herself. She also gets the bouquet. She stands highest, having put a lot of work into it. A great motivator to her teammates, motivating her to help her get the silver. And you cannot stop the joy. As a national anthem, I'll do what was on.
Congratulations. Once again, the medals were presented by one Athletics Council member, Mrs. Beatrice Akure. I think she deserves a round of applause. Thank you very much, madam. Congratulations to the winners.
That's the lady, Jennifer Choma Nwachukwu. Looks to have set a new record, which will be confirmed before the end of the day. She has to take a selfie. You cannot leave the ladies out of this. What a joy to be for her. Going beyond their personal rest to set a new record.
Yes, to set a championship record. So this is, come the next championship should be the time to break. Her time will be the one they will look up to come and break and then set a new one. And I'm thinking Nigeria is up to that challenge.
Whether to be shattered, whether it will be just for the next athlete to just win. Jennifer Choma Nwachukwu has done her own job. We're looking to move on to the next level. Maybe the under-20s, maybe the world stage. She is your athlete, your gold medalist. You can see her walking so boldly. Great race she ran today. It was a beautiful performance earlier today.
And also to note the beautiful attire also, I can't help but also stare at the ushers. The attire is just lovely.
Well, back to our discus show. We've got the South African Kweti ready to spin and make his stroll this time around. Still looking forward to his best. It looks like he covered the distance.
Yes, he covered it. It seemed a bit too high. You know, if the discus goes high, it tends to, when it's coming down, drop. So you want to make it straight, go straight in front. But like we said, as long as it's a white flag and the distance is good.
You're good. It's about making it good. That's just a recap of what you saw earlier. Algeria comes again. Beep number 693 is the next athlete we got, and that Getters Walid Ferris. We're hoping to do a good throw, and maybe better than all he's done earlier today. Ferris also does an easy spin. Not sure he's so convinced with how much distance he covered.
Yeah, you can see that he's still not very familiar with the spin because his final phase is a little too slow, because you want to be explosive in that final phase of your spin so that you would gather enough momentum to throw out the discus. But he's a little bit slow in that phase, so it seems as if he's still not very familiar with that spin. But like I said, it's under 20, so we still have time to, you know, perfect your technique.
And I noticed that he puts in more energy, so much energy, but doesn't look like it affects the handling of the discus itself. And that's where the power play comes in.
Yes, it's really technical. I remember I used to have a problem with that because I also used to throw javelin, because the javelin was my favorite throws. And it's translating that power in that final phase of the throw. That is also a technique that you would need to learn. They seem to be lacking, but they said these are under 20 men, so it's something that you're going to learn, build on, and perfect as time goes by.
Another throw right there. Looks imperfect. The measurement being taken.
Isn't it that it doesn't? The techniques are not perfection is in the eye of the beholder when it comes to technique. I've seen in the 100 meters they used to have this U.S. athlete that used to run. Her technique was terrible. She used to run with her head up, and but she always used to win. And everybody was like, "Why bother correcting? She's already winning, so don't change it, because you know if you change it, the athlete now has to get used to it, and it could affect her performance."
Take her time. That throw was from Goispi Mosaine from Algeria, and you have another Algerian coming up to make his own throw. Beam number 886. Throw made. Doesn't look on the best.
He has a better final phase than the previous athlete, but it didn't. He didn't generate enough power. He didn't translate the power into the throw.
Just saw. He would have wished that the distance the discus rolls to will be counted for him.
If that's the case, I would have been throwing very well in the discus because I actually did all the throws at some points in my life. I would have done a decathlon. I was really good at the 7 events. 6 of them.
So what stopped you?
The thought of getting 1 medal for 7 events that didn't fly with me.
Oliver, you didn't want to put all of this energy just for 1 medal, but you didn't bother about the fact that the viewers will love you more.
But I still chose the hard events. Triple jump was technically, for me it wasn't that hard, but for most people it was technically hard.
Just to remind you, it's the CAA African Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championship. A celebration of speed, strength, and spirit happening right here in Abeokuta, one of the most refurbished stadiums in Nigeria. I tell you, it is really, really a brilliant stuff. It's time for the next presentation of the medals. And it looks like they've all gone Niger Delta today.
Oh, I was about to say that.
I love the beautiful outfit we're seeing. I talked about George yesterday, and it looked like they heard my voice and went on with this. He must have been prepared for, don't mind me. It's just on a lighter note. But we've got the medals presentation very much ready. And these are the athletes that have won for this one.
Oh, they went to my village to prepare this attire. It's a Niger Delta. It looks, you could get it in Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa, probably some of Edo State.
This is the 100 meters on the 20 medalists from bronze to silver to gold. And it's actually for men, to be precise.
Membre du Conseil de World Athletics. 3e médaillé de bronze, représentant le Nigeria, John Caleb.
We've got Caleb, that's your bronze medalist from Nigeria. Host nation producing another athlete for this one. Joyfully, he receives his medal and his bouquet, having waved to his fans.
La République d'Afrique du Sud, Karamo,
medalist. And that's your man from South Africa getting so much support from his fans, his supporters, and his fellow athletes. Karabo Letebele is his name, from South Africa. You also get the bouquet. You see his smile and his innocent look. One you will look to see in the future. Had a great. And this is your gold medalist. Spoke so well of himself, said he was going to go all the way. Your man from Kenya. Here's your gold medalist rather. Clinton Onwatinya is his name. Gets his medal and his bouquet for this one. Surprisingly, he's not smiling on a day like this. And you mentioned it yesterday, Otonya, that the Kenyans don't smile. But we'll talk about it just after the national anthem for Kenya. You obviously know that Onwatinya is looking beyond this event. This is not the height he is wanting to get to. Business-minded, business face, so focused on the future as he looked into his national flag.
I can say this, that we are smiling inside, even if sometimes it does not show on our face.
Could it be some level of shyness? And I love the fact that it's also exchanging pleasantries, the athletes.
Sometimes it's just things that are going on in the mind. So, you know, sometimes if you won, you know, it hasn't dawned on you yet. Your mind is still trying to, you know, process what is happening. Sometimes it doesn't really dawn on you till maybe by the time you go home, back home.
Hoping that we get all we want in life. these athletes are putting in their best. But one thing for sure is that sometimes you don't see the best of the athletes from their young ages. They go on to pick their best of form much later. I think Toby Amuson is one of those athletes you can talk about. She was always struggling, but at some point in time, she got into a record that is still not been broken for 200 meters hurdles till date.
You know, sometimes you pay your dues. Sometimes you actually see some athletes come up and they're really young and they can do it. I think there's an athlete like that in Australia. He's like 16 and he's like almost competing. I think he actually broke the St. Bolt on that 16 record. You know, we have athletes like that sometimes. But most of the time you have to like pay your dues, get your technique right, you know, get the exposure that kind of strengthens you mentally, because that is a very important thing. The mental strength, it needs to be a top athlete.
It's got to do with mental strength. And I tell you, some of these guys have paid their dues at the early stages, and that's why they're getting their medals at this early stage also. The Kenyans look like they have dominated in the last 24 hours, winning medals back to back, and gold medals actually, as we get ready for another medal presentation. The officials are also not left out. The ushers are happy being at the event. It's been smiling faces for all those who are here today, and that's a thing of joy. Some are right here doing their business, their businesses as officials. Some are here to enjoy the event. Some athletes are also here to be some support to their teammates or their compatriots, those who have also traveled down with them for this event. It's really a thing of joy.
We will also like to give kudos to the organizers in displaying, you know, the tradition that different cultures in Nigeria are not left out. You can see the display in what the ushers that are presenting the medals, what they wear. The last presentation, my people were represented. So it makes me happy. So those watching at home, when you're watching, you might not even be watching those getting medals. You might be watching the ushers and say, oh, look at that, that's my village attire.
And that could also be some side attraction.
Yes.
I really love what you just added right there, your people. That should be from River State, I guess.
Yes.
But Niger Delta almost generally have that attire as their way. The men tying their wrappers, their George materials, and having that top, what's it called again? With the hats to complete it.
I was trying to remember what it's called.
I will find you soon.
Yes, but also to note, the Niger Delta is also the region in Nigeria where you have Nigeria's top sprinters and jumpers. When you're talking about those that have won, you can mention them by name and they're most likely from the Niger Delta.
And it's time for us to witness the 100 meters under 18 men. We've got some new attire. Again, I think this is for the ladies, also from the Niger Delta. Confirm that in a bit. 100 meters under 18 men is the medal presentation that we are having at this point in time. And you see the South Africans dominating this one. A great event. They also saw a Nigerian finish. Number 3, just in the dying embers of this event. It was a great race yesterday. Had the crowd screaming, and I tell you, it was so much fun.
Meters, hurdles under 18.
And heart-wrenching for some people.
You will always have winners. You will always have those that didn't win. I don't want to say losers, because you're a winner for the fact that you qualified to attend any championship. That means you're the top in that endeavor. And everybody's a winner, but we have to choose the top 3.
That's your Nigerian bronze medalist, the 100 meters under 18 men. BBJ James Clifford came 3rd in that Congratulations. Surely the CAA Africa, the other name for the national anthem of South Africa, will bring some joy to the fans and the supporters of the nation. The Rainbow Nation, as they are called, an anthem that was adopted in 1997. What a beautiful piece we have just listened to. For those who do music, I saw a G major, and I hope you educate me after I've dropped this microphone.
Also, you can also see that the medal was presented by Akuchukwu Ogazu. She's a second vice president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, and I can tell you a very strong advocate for road running in Nigeria.
That's one of the reasons we have the city marathons across the nation. We've seen the Lagos City Marathon this year. We've also seen the Enugu City Marathon. And surely there is more to come from the feelers we've gotten. But you cannot take it away from this handsome faces, the future of South African sprint races for the man. Congratulations to that man, Mukoda Makavela. I think I know his name often at this point in time. And anytime I want to introduce him, I need to increase my bass. That's the only man who can challenge me with a bass voice.
Congratulations, South Africa. One of the powerhouses in Africa when it comes to sports.
Not just 100 meters, they are good at everything. Like I mentioned earlier, they got 70 athletes right here, and you hardly put them behind. You have about 60%, at least 80% of these athletes have a podium finish. If not a gold, it's a silver. If not a silver, the worst is a bronze for them. That's why they're always going to win. Very much prepared. Athletes come together and they pick them based on merit.
Yes, even when you look at the Olympics too, you see the South Africans tend to make the podium, even in events, sports like swimming also. So they're very strong at that. So they've been building their culture and they're building their athletes for a while now. So it's the result is now apparent. It's now showing in the medals that they win in the track and field.
See them also celebrating on the popular side. Some fans coming here. Looks like a couple. The wife is minding her business. The husband is very much focused on the camera with his lovely hat.
Yes, I remember. It's now a fedora. The hat is called a fedora. He just reminded me.
How about the top for the Niger Delta?
And that's my place, and so I should be ashamed of myself.
We should be ashamed of ourselves. I'm not sure I'm from Niger Delta, but
you should be doubly ashamed if you're not sure where you're from.
That was harsh, as in the color. Not in the words, the color. You're still very much right here at the CAA African Under-18, Under-20 Athletics Championship, where we are having the best of events at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena. Still the voice of Zubike Omicha and the multiple medalists at the Africa Games, the Commonwealth Games, and also participants at multiple Olympics. Otonye Iworima cracking me up as the comedian for today. And also, you're number one analyst when it comes to everything in track and field. Otonye, once again, I doff my hat.
Thank
even
you.
If nobody's saying it.
You know that the comedians, most of the comedians in Nigeria come from the Niger Delta, so we kind of aim to please.
Okay, if you're listening for the first time to a Nigerian voice, we know there's a place called Warri in Nigeria. They're also known as Wafi. That's where you have maybe 95% of the comedians. The average man from Warri is a comedian. Just the way we see the average Kenyan as a long distance run. You cannot stay close to a Warri person. There's a way they speak and they differentiate themselves.
Their broken English is different from every other broken you speak. I remember once when we were in camp, I was in the same room with a Warri girl and I laughed throughout just by when she talks.
And their anger sometimes can be some level of rage. I've noticed that those who joke a lot also get really, really angry. But at the same time, we don't leave out the safety officials. Doing a great job keeping everyone calm and making sure there is joy. And the media, we have them in their numbers with the best of cameras covering these events. We can't also leave out our media sponsors who are very much broadcasting this event in different parts of the continent. We've got Super Sports 208 We'll say thank you. We've also got SABC Sports. There is Startimes. We've got TVC and then the local station for the state hosting this event, OGTV. There is also AIT, and these are places you can watch this event. And if you choose to watch virtually from your phone or your laptop, you can just go to Team 33 Production on YouTube. Team 33, 33, 33 in numbers. And you'll be live watching this one, whether from your office or while you are in the car, not driving. I have to pull that out again. Please make sure you're not driving while watching this. Leave it out to the person sitting behind the car. Let that person enjoy you until you get to your comfort zone. It's really been an interesting event from day 1, day 2, now day 3. Just the early stages, the morning session. And we are enjoying every bit of it. These young boys will always give me joy. I always loved to have dimples as a young boy, but it never happened. I pushed my cheeks in a couple of times, but then I knew God is the greatest, who will always stand his ground for what he wants for you. This is the time to have another medal presentation. And it's time for the 3,000 meters women's medal presentation. Athletes who ran the race for the middle distance yesterday, and a great job they did. We've got athletes from Kenya and Ethiopia dominating this one. 2 Ethiopians and 1 Kenyan making it up. Yes. Just imagine, the only Kenyan is the gold medalist. We'll have the introductions one at a time.
3,000 meter under
And now for the
18
3,000 meters
women.
under 18s women, which was run yesterday. Your bronze medalist is Benache Dese, who's coming up to pick up a bronze medal. And for the silver medal, we've got Desta Tadele, also from Ethiopia. And your gold medalist is Cynthia Chepurui from Kenya. This is your bronze medalist, just a reminder.
Please stand if you for the national anthem of Kenya.
This is just to confirm to you, there's not much of the athletes we have on the podium, but the number 1 athlete, and that's the Kenyan anthem you're listening to. Very short anthem, straightforward, joyful to listen to, especially for the Kenyans. Congratulations once again to Cynthia Chepkoroy, the gold medalist, Desta Tadele, the silver medalist from Ethiopia, and Beneshai Desai from Ethiopia, the bronze medalist. Posted for the pictures. Media will be happy to do this one.
You were talking about how innocent the face look, but even if you see the senior athletes, especially with the Ethiopians, they all basically look that way.
Same way, right?
Yes, but that's a good thing about being very active.
Otoye, this is you running away from what I asked you. You were stuttering when I asked you. I don't think you looked innocent from the way you started while you were in your youth and maybe teenage events.
I always look innocent, and I am innocent.
Okay, looked? Because I can see you right now. Don't mind me. She's become my play partner at this point. We enjoy these games as he goes down. We cannot run any longer. She's retired but not tired. This is what I've been doing for over a decade, so I'll do it with all joy. Since my parents, they allow me go into sports the way I wanted. They made me a barman at a very young age. I hope my dad is not listening at this point in time, because my phone will still start ringing when he finds out that I'm bringing this on air. That's on the light notes.
In my own family, what my parents said is that, okay, you make sure you finish your education first if you're going to do sports. So education was really
can't both be run side by side?
Yes, you can do.
So why do parents not want this to happen? But I think they're learning that these days.
Yeah, in recent years, it's become that. Back in the days, you know, it felt like you were going to take away the time from this thing. So my parents said, okay, make sure you finish your education. You can still do the sports as long as it doesn't hinder your education. And lucky for me, I went to schools I went to Queen's College. We were very good in sports back then. I went to University of Nigeria in Nsukka. We were one of those universities that were very sports friendly. So even my masters, I went to Switzerland, Lausanne, that has like 80% of all the international federations. Yeah. So I tend to hang around when it comes to education in a sports sector.
I'm still going to ask that question soon. Why do we have most of the headquarters in Switzerland?
That's a good question.
I've noticed this. I thought you were going to give me an answer to this. FIBA, Athletics Federation.
Well, actually, Athletics Federation is in Monaco.
Okay, I know we have something that's got to do with athletics right there in Switzerland. I'll get to remember in a bit, and I'll get you that information.
Even the IOC, the International Olympics Committee, is actually in Lausanne, Switzerland.
So I said athletics, and I knew what I talked about. Maybe not the one I mentioned at first, but I'm still on track. This beautiful faces, this thing we call Anko in Nigeria, is what you can have on your screen. Couples also come into the games to enjoy themselves, where you don't have to spend lots of naira or dollars or pounds to impress your woman. Just bring her here, and before you know it, she's already screaming and taking pictures, and she forgets every sorrow that you've never taken her out. Some little tips on how to be romantic is what you have right here. And you can see the men making it happen right here at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena. Let's get to Manny on pitch side. He's got a top former athlete who will be speaking to you in a bit.
All right, we're still very much live here at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena. It is time. We've seen the athletes compete and given their all for this event here today. With me now, I've got Beatrice Aikoro. She's a former athlete and a member of the World Athletic Council. Okay, so tell us what you've seen so far here in Nigeria. How has Nigeria been welcoming as far as this event is concerned?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm quite impressed by the reception we've received since we came here. What we all like to see is the athletes put at the center of everything, and I think that's what Nigeria has just done to make sure that the athletes are given opportunity to compete, show their best. So we're happy for now.
We've seen some of these young athletes, now they are very young, competing for their African countries, but when they mature in their career, they, tend to go to compete for other countries. How do you want to see that being stopped for African countries to maintain the athletes from a young age till the very mature age?
It's very important for us, the national federations, to ensure we maintain our athletes, retain them in our country. It's very simple. We must focus on the welfare of the athletes. If you have competitions within Africa, within your countries, they will stay. If you don't have competition and if you don't care for them, they'll leave. So we need to make sure that the athletes don't leave Africa. They must remain in Africa, run for African countries.
As an Ugandan, how impressed have you been so far with the Ugandan athletes here in Nigeria?
Respect so much. So far we have gold medals and we have I think three bronze. We're happy. It's good performance for us as of now.
Thank you very much, man, and I wish you all the best. Of the World Athletic Council, and it's been so wonderful, and we hope that more athletes can be able to compete right here today, and we hope this is finally going to be for the event. We'll go back to our team of commentators, Azu and Otonye Iworima.
Thank you, Manny, and that's some beautiful piece from one of the great athletes from Africa, Beatrice Haikoro.
And you see, they were talking about trying to retain African athletes and stopping the outflow of talent. The thing is that there are actually rules in place that discourage that, because if an athlete wants to change nationality, for instance, it takes you about 3 years. You cannot compete for any other country for that 3 years. So then it depends on also how involved your federation is, whether they want to let you go or not, or if there's something outstanding. So it's not really that easy as people think. That you just say an athlete has changed. It's not that easy to change, because at 3 years you can really lose a lot. You will not be able to compete in any of the international games or championships, the Olympics. You cannot compete in the Olympics, in the World Championship in Africa, and you cannot compete in any of those listed for any other country until that 3 years has gone. So it's not that easy. But the thing is that sometimes, like we mentioned before, some countries have so much talent. For instance, you have Kenya, and for the Olympic Games, you can only pick 3 people out of all that amount of talent. So sometimes it's inevitable that you would lose some people. Or like I said, that athlete will have to weigh the cost of having to switch to another country.
So, the case of Favor Philly, it's not like she's been maltreated in any way. It's just the rule being followed.
The rule is being followed, but you have to ask the athlete. The athlete would have to have a reason, a concrete reason why they are leaving, and then the federation will be involved, and the international body also will be involved. She has her reason for leaving, and like I said, she won't be able to compete in any the World Championship that is coming up this year. She won't be able to compete in any other that's coming up in the next 3 years for any other country. So, like I said, she would have had to weigh the consequence or what she's going to do.
So in 3 years, at least there should be one Olympics, if I'm correct?
Yes, we have the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles.
Exactly. Can such athletes register as an independent athlete?
No. It has to be 3 years before you can come. That 3 years has to elapse.
So what would she be doing all of this?
You can go for meets and all that stuff, but you cannot compete in the major games, championships, like that.
That's a strong one. So this is some way to tell the athletes, man, just come back home. Because when you add 3 years to an athlete, use Favor Philly for example, she might be 25, 26, 3 years from now.
Exactly.
What could be left?
Like I said, she has probably weighed the cost of the action she's about to take and deemed it worth it before she took it.
It's all good. We'll wait for the best of it. On your screens you have rehearsals from the athletes for pole vault. They're getting ready. These are the male Decathlon athletes for under 20. And we're looking forward to seeing how much of effect this will have on the points they already garnered. We saw them have Discus earlier. Why we'll talk about that, so wait for them to kickstart. We quickly rush back to the medal presentations still happening at the main ball. This is the 1,500 under 20 men medals presentation. The winners for yesterday is what you have on your screen, and you'll be so surprised who the gold medal is, even where you have Kenya standing behind.
I don't really think that is a surprise. Like we mentioned before, the East Africans have also been
presentation ceremony
in the
for
long and middle
meters
distance races. So for me, it's not a surprise. Like we mentioned yesterday, we had Isham El Garouche,
Ambassador
was
Chief
very
Mary
dominant
Oyani,
in the
MFR,
1,500
five-time
meters
Olympian
for a
and
while.
twice Olympic gold medalist.
So it's like coming back to take what belongs to them, the Moroccans. But we'll focus now on the bronze medalist, the Ugandan, who is waving to you, also lifting his hands to his God. Sunday Jacob coming third in that race yesterday.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen.
None other than Johad Kachina from Morocco, who won the race. That's the Moroccan national anthem.
Congratulations.
And that's the Moroccan anthem. And a great presentation done already right there by a five-time Olympian, Otoye.
Oh yes, we have Mary Onyanli doing the presentation. She's a two-time Olympic medalist in the 4x1 relay and in the 200-meter straight. Also, two-time medalist in the World Junior Championships, is a silver medalist in the 200 and a bronze medalist in the 4x100 meters relay. She's also a three-time Commonwealth Games medalist, 2 gold in 100 meters and 4x1, and then a silver medal in the 200. I mean, if that is not a queen, I don't know who is.
Give her flowers. She's done it all. She's been there, done that, and she's always kept that simplicity. You will almost not know it's Mary Onyanli. You walk past her on the street and say, "Good morning," and that's all. You wouldn't know you've walked past a medalist in the Olympics and also the Commonwealth Games multiple times.
Yes, and a very strong advocate for track and field in Nigeria, especially when it comes to the women, the welfare of the women, you know, the advancement of women in sports. She has always been in the front for. She's somebody I talk to from time to time.
She's also the Nigerian police officer. Am I mixing up with the other women? But a very, very great athlete any day, any time. Smart, very much a great woman. Mary Onyanli, thank you for coming to present these awards. We're happy to see these ladies or these former athletes come on to do what we have to do. Let's quickly switch to Emmanuel Sebastian on pitch side for some interviews.
Yes, I have with me the chairman of the LOC Sub-Medical Committee. His name is Dr. Paul Onyodo. Well, good to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, as an LOC member, putting this together, how has it been for you and the team?
Well, it has been hectic. We expected it to be so. It's difficult to organize a tournament of this magnitude where you have so many countries coming together to run in 5 days. We expected that, so we are not surprised that we've been able to do the job. So
Nigeria as the host country at the late hour. So far, day 3, how impressed have you been so far? What have you seen?
Well, to be perfectly honest, not just because I'm a Nigerian, I think we've been able to put up a good show. And the athletes have shown themselves. We are happy to see what is going on. Looking at it from sports perspective, it's good development because we see future for Africa, because seeing young talents being discovered, which is essentially what it's all about.
So for the next 2 days, what are we going to expect? What are we going to witness for viewers watching all over the world?
Well, just to see the potentials, the talents that we have in Africa. They expect what should be coming up as future world stars in the various aspects of various disciplines of athletics. So basically, we're going to see more of the talents that Africa will be launching into the world.
From the look of the faces of the African countries here today, you could tell the excitement. Any feedback from your end, what you guys have received as LOC committee member from these African countries who's been here?
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, I think everybody is happy to be here and competing well. From the medical perspective, it has been uneventful, so to say. When we say uneventful, what it means is that nothing unusual, no adverse medical events. It's just a normal wear and tear which you expect in sports. When you play sports at this level, there will be sprains and strains, but it's not something sinister or something to really worry about. It's normal. So I think we've done well so far.
Thank you very much, sir. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right, back to some medal presentation. Still got my team of commentators here with us today.
Thank you once again, Dr. Paul Onyodo, the top medical personnel who has overseen athletes' wellness and anti-doping measures for this event. We quickly move from there now to the medals presentation. Another currently ongoing. And this is the Discus Women's Under-18 medals presentation. We've got a Namibian, a Tunisian and a South African ready for their receiving of their medals. And number 3 is the Namibian Marike Witz, who will be walking up there to pick up a medal as the bronze medalist for this event, the Discus Women's Under-18. It's really going to be interesting to see how she comes up to take this one. One of the first medals we're having for Namibia for the event since it started 2 days ago.
Medal ceremony in Discus Women Under-18. The medal will be presented by Mrs. Rosa Collins, former African record holder in triple jump and Olympian. Les médailles seront remises par Madame Rosa Collins, ancienne détentrice du record.
A beautiful view you can see right there. This outfit showing the diverse culture of our country, the host, Nigeria. Like I mentioned earlier, your bronze medalist comes up the podium. Marike Waits from Namibia.
She's walking away with the bronze medal to represent.
Picking up the first medal from the 3, the bronze. She wins the Under-18 Women's Discus bronze medal. Gets a medal and also a bouquet. And next up is your silver medalist from Tunisia. That's Katie Enada, confidently walking up right there. Really walked on herself. And she'll be so happy doing this. Joed Katur Enada from Tunisia. Having spoken about the silver medalists, it's time to go to the gold. We spoke about this country a lot, the Republic of South Africa, doing so well in these events. Won the first and the second events, and this time around it's another gold for South Africa that goes to Mila Verkerman. That's how she comes up right here to pick up this one. What a joy to be for her.
Another gold medal for Africa.
Such beautiful smile from all of the athletes as they will be turning to the right, getting ready for the South African national anthem. Lord bless Africa. Nkose Sikelei Africa is that anthem. You just listened to the national anthem for South Africa. And walking off the podium or on the podium with the other athletes is a former triple jumper, a superstar as far as Nigeria is concerned.
Yes, that is Rosa Collins. She's a Olympian, former national record holder, also the former African record holder in the triple jump, and also a member of the local organizing committee for this event. So we have all our ex-athletes, former legends also here supporting and making sure that these up-and-coming athletes get the encouragement, the competition that they duly deserve.
Don't think there's a better inspiration. Don't think there's a better motivation. These guys have gotten it all from lots of these athletes. Seeing them in the 70s, in the 80s. Maybe their parents actually saw them on the screen before they were even born. But hearing their stories or going back to read about them, the thing of joy and inspiration to have athletes or former athletes like this being witnessed.
I actually took over from her. She had held the national record for like over 10 years, and then we came along and decided, okay, that's the target we are going to break. And 3 of us broke it. We now had a competition of who was going to break it once we started breaking it. So she set the pace, and we took the baton and ran with it.
As most of the spectators are enjoying, some also look deep in thought I've seen this man smile as he enjoys it. Goes back again. Don't worry, my brother. All will be well. For sure. I can assure you that. And that's one thing we know for sure. And it's just one thing about the average man, the average human being. There is one time you just find yourself trying to take control of things you cannot handle. But we pull all of that by the side, and that's how we find ourselves in an event like this. Meanwhile, pole vault is ongoing for the Decathlon athletes. They are doing as much as they can to make sure they garner more points than they had earlier. And that's the Algerian. One of the Algerians actually. We'll have 4 of them competing in this event. Taking it at a time, or one at a time. Not a good jump for him. He would have wanted to go past it, and this is just a recap of what he did earlier. Went past it, Motoye, but I think just a little touch from his body brought that down. Get us Walid Faris.
Yeah, that's the technicality of the pole vault. The pole vault is the most technical and the most dangerous, so to speak, event that you would have on the track and field. It requires you using a pole, which is typically made of fiberglass and carbon fiber, so that it gives it that flexibility and strength. Yes, and then you have to go over it, clear the hurdles, and then come over it without having the bar drop to make it count as a jump.
No, I was going to ask this question. Has there ever been a case of the pole breaking while an athlete is trying to jump over?
Several times.
Several times.
Yes. Sometimes
I think I saw one with a Nigerian. I can't remember her name. It was a long time ago. I will remember that case soon. It was one of the big events. And this is just things that we get to see, or these are things we get to see. One of the risks of the events.
Yes, the thing is that the athlete might not be able to properly use the pole and bend it too much. Also, over time they've gotten to make the pole with fiberglass that makes it more durable. Before then, the material that was being used, when it reaches a certain bend, it tends to follow a break. So I think improvements have been made in terms of the material used to make the pole for the jump. But then again, the technique is very important. It is highly technical. So if you don't get it well, you might not be able to go far in terms of the height.
This might just be one of the events the Nigerian Blessing Emmanuel might be struggling with. We'll get back to him. This is another medal presentation happening right here at the MK Abiola National Sports, or MK Abiola Sports Arena, where athletes will be picking up their medals at this time. This is for the javelin under 20 women. We've got 3 athletes picking up their medals. Peace Udochukwu from Nigeria, Caroline Anyango Odworth from Kenya, and Nicole Bernard from South Africa, or Bernard rather, will pick up their medals for first, second, and third.
Third, bronze medalist representing Nigeria, Grace Onducheku.
Now we move to the anthem. Let's take turn to their right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national
for the anthem.
Congratulations
That's
to the
Nico Bernard, the South African who just won a gold medal for the javelin women's under 20 event. See all of them coming together for their pictures. Also, congratulations to the other nations, Kenya and Nigeria.
The medal was presented by Siddiq Ibrahim of Sudan. He is a council member of the World Athletics and also a member of the Confederation of African Athletics.
Truly, the great people from this continent coming together to see that this event is at the greatest of heights, close to what you can call world class. We now rush back to the jumps. The pole vaults is what I'm talking about. And the Algerian is looking to do something instrumental. This is really beautiful.
Yes,
how he lifts passes.
You can see the technique. He's a little bit more technically sound than all the other.
Now I understand better what you meant, Otonya, when you were saying this yesterday. What a jump that was from that man, Wefi Mosine. He was very technical about it. You thought he was going to go down, and he lifts himself up with the pole again, adds more jump and more pressure, and gets over it without having to touch the crossbar.
Yes, one thing you have to notice about the pole is that there's actually a sticky end of the pole where you place your hand. That helps you have a proper grip for the pole so that you can lift yourself up. Like I said, it's a real technical event, and not everybody is used to the lift. Like you can see the Nigerian athletes, you will know that this is not his event.
Blessing Emmanuel has been struggling for this. The first event is really struggling at. I think he's not actually ready for this. He just wants to he cannot wait for this to happen. He just wants to get knocked out as soon as possible so he can move on to other things.
As long as he registers a jump. So he registers a point. That we're good with that.
Doesn't look like one who already registered a jump. The jump means you actually crossed over. While Blessed Emmanuel has the pole again, he might be having another opportunity to do what he has to do. And the bar has not been raised for him. He has to try again. While we wait for him to do that, it's time for the under-20 women's medal presentation for 100 meters.
In the same Olympic Games, you recall that she won an individual bronze in 400 at the Atlanta Olympics and anchored the 4x4 to silver. Third place and bronze medalist.
Got the bronze medalist. Shegalon Yonan Chantal. That's your bronze medalist for the under 20 women's 100 meters event. Lo Yohan Chantal picking up a medal. For sure, you have our own legend, one of the greatest to ever do this athletics thingy in Nigeria, Falila Tugukoye, presenting the medal.
Yes, she is the African record holder in the 400 meters and a two-time Olympic medalist.
Time for the silver medalist. The Nigerian Abeokuta comes up to pick up our own medal. The Nigerian did so well in that race. This is just how she is rewarded by one of the greatest from Africa. And even on the world stage, Falila Tugukoye. Congratulations to you, Abeokuta. You cannot run away. When you present the silver, you also have to have the gold medal presentation. It's going to none other than Mweke Joma Cynthia. She waves and smiles again, coming onto the podium. What a joy it is for her to be doing it for her country and also for herself. 100 meters in the 20s, women gold medalists is the face you have on your screen.
Yes, you know, this is the one event that Nigerians can say is our own. And we can fight you for it. Let's just go through Falila. She's a two-time Olympic medalist, silver and bronze. She's a African Championship, 4 times gold medalist, 2 times silver medalist. She's a World Junior Champion, 1-time gold medalist, bronze medalist. In the All-African Games, she's a gold medalist and 3 times silver medalist.
Congratulations once again.
That's the anthem for the Nigerians. What a beautiful thing it is for them, having 2 of them on the podium, silver and gold. We have right here.
Yes, I think we can't really wait to see what they will do for the 4x4 women. I'm expecting them to give the second people like a very long gap when they run, because like I said, this is our event to lose. It's ours and we hold it really tight.
Like what I said earlier, when she says ours, she is Nigerian. She is a former athlete representing the nation at different events. Otonya Iworima speaking with so much confidence and so much joy when she sees her Nigerians win these medals.
But that's not to take it away from, let's say, the South Africans that, for instance, hold the world record with the men. So it's a competition, so we're expecting to have a stiff competition with the other countries. But we want to say, yes, this is ours to lose.
It's really the Nigerians' medals to lose. Still have the relays for men and women. We saw the mix yesterday and it was really, really interesting. We saw the South African trip, but still picked up second position in the end. That will be within this event. We'll give you all of the information as they come one at a time. The Moroccans are not left out. They've also picked out a couple of medals today, and this is some of the athletes that you have right here, looking so focused. You know that look that it's time for us to even pick up more medals, as we surprise them in the middle distance races. We can even do more than what we've done in the past.
Thank you for the medal presentation, man. Celebrate you, we are in awe of you. The pole vault men session is.
These are the fans being shown. You also have them in their jerseys. Football will not be left out. That's an Arsenal fan looking so focused. I'm so sure he's checking the transfers. What the latest is for his football club. But he wouldn't leave out the fact that he loves athletics, and he's here also enjoying it and vibing to the song. Nigerians are never left out. I want to believe he's Nigerian.
But he could also be Rwandan because he has that written on his sleeve.
Okay. That by the way, we wouldn't look at that deeply. We don't have the powers to know which country he is from. But we have Emmanuel Sebastian with one of the greatest to have ever done this in Nigeria by the beachside for some interview. Manny, please take it away.
Guys, we're still here. It is the MKO Abiola Sports Arena. It is the third CAA African Athletics Championship. And with me, I have the legendary Miss Falilat Ogunkoya. Now, you've been there, you've done it in Africa, across the world. How does it feel to see young Nigerians competing here today?
I'm very happy to see them. And I hope they will keep it up and to represent themselves and Nigeria very well.
You know, for young athletes who are hoping to get to this stage, watching, what is the motivation? What can you say to cheer them on in their respective careers coming?
Whatever you want to do, if it's athletics, any sport, when you set your mind onto it, you will do very well and work very hard.
You know, during your time, what was the highest point for you in your career?
Olympics. An athlete wants to go to the Olympics, want to win medal. We always want to win gold, but I want silver and bronze. I'm very happy.
Any low points for you that you can look back and say, okay, I should have done better, I should have done this?
It was World Championship, but I didn't get medal, but I'm still grateful for it.
All right, Nigeria is hosting. This is the third edition of the CAA. You know, Nigerians coming together, you know, bringing African countries to converge here in Nigeria. How much do you want to see this happen, you know, as far as African Athletics Championship is concerned?
They should bring more competition to Nigeria. Nigeria is very good. And I hope that Africa will continue to progress.
Any athletes have caught the eye for you? I mean, I know we are Nigerians now, but let's take it away from Nigerians now. From what you've seen so far, how impressed have you been?
Very impressed with the Kenya. If Kenya can come from a long distance and win the 100 meters, why can't Nigeria go and win 3,000?
I mean, we can't wait to see that happen because Kenyans, they're known for long distance and now they are doing it in the short distance. You know, so how do you see that change happening if, you know, you want to see Nigerians go on to win those long distance races?
It's not that we cannot win, but most of them are very lazy. When you are a long distance runner, you should be able to do a lot of road walks, but we don't like to get up when we are sleeping. So if they can do that, they can still do very well.
Thank you very much, man, and I wish you all the best, man. Well, when you hear a legend who's been there, who's done it before, you would want to listen. I mean, she wants Nigerians to go on to do well in the long distance races. I mean, we've seen Kenyans come here to also do it in the short distance races, but I mean, nothing is impossible. Nigerians can also do it like they've been doing here so far. You know, they've really competed really well when it comes to the Nigerian athletes, and we hope more will be on the podium as we go on for this third CAA African Athletics Championship. Back to the team of commentary, Azu and Otonye.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. And I love it when interviewees are so frank, and that's what we got from one of the greatest to come out of Nigeria, Falila Togunkoya, a legend. She went really hard on the middle distance runners, saying that they most likely are sleeping.
I would say it's an all-round thing. Not sleeping, but you know, we tend to concentrate on the events we are strong at and not on the ones we are not. But in recent times, when road running has picked up in Nigeria, so I believe that is something we are going to grow. There's a plan and the work from the National Sports Commission and the Athletics Federation to send them to training camps to be able to do better and then compete with the Kenyans, because we have in the Abuja Marathon last year where we had a Nigerian come second in Abuja Half Marathon. So those athletes, you take them and train. But it's also good to note that Falila Togunkoya is a daughter of the soil. It's a daughter of Ogun State. And not only that, she is the first athlete to win an individual medal in the Olympics.
That's really huge. That's one thing she knows. She's speaking from experience. She might not get everything right as you expect. You might not agree with that point and with everything she must have said. But she mentioned something. So from what you said now, you believe from middle distance races and all of this other stuff, it has to be that there are events waiting for you, so you don't just keep training and there's nothing for you to do in the end. I think that's where you're coming from.
Yes, there has to be a training and then the environment,
a competition
and then the environment
how good you are with the others.
Because even, for instance, there are a lot of training camps in Kenya. Even athletes from other countries go to Kenya to train, and we have similar environments in the Bauchi, Jos, Taraba area where it's cool. Anybody that has ever been to Jos knows what it is. It's really cold, and the cooler the environment, it's better. And then it's a higher altitude, so that's a good environment. So I believe there's a plan in the work to actually create a training camp in that area. So at some point we don't need to be going out to train, and then we have athletes. And like for every sport, there needs to be incentive for athletes. To run a marathon is not easy. Top athletes take 2 hours to run a marathon, so there needs to be incentive to get people to do those events. If not, we are actually more popular in the sprints and jumps, which is what we call the sprint events. So in order to go to the other extreme, there has to be incentive, which is now in the work, like I said. And then the more competition we have, athletes are winning money. So if you see these athletes, they're now running more, they're now making more money in those races that are being organized all over the country. So that is why I say give us time. When she says lazy, I understand what she means, because we are known for being a sprinting nation. So like fire brigade approach thing is like our forte. So we're now going to have to go into the marathon, which is kind of like the opposite of what the kind of things we're used to. But like the Kenyans came from the long distance to the sprints, we are going from the sprints to the long distance.
It's a whole lot, and that's what she has come to explain. Thank you, Tonya, for that clarity. And we must always give it to the first bronze medalist, or actually first medalist as far as the Olympics is concerned. She did that in 1996. That's the voice you heard earlier, the great Falila Togunkoya. She won bronze medal at the 400 meters and also won silver medal as a team with other mates at the 4x400 meters relay. A great event, and we have seen from these women. Who are we looking at next from what you've seen so far in this event? Otonya, if you were to pick 2 people, 1 male and 1 female, who will be some Olympians and medalists at the Olympics, maybe in 2028, from these ones you've seen in the last 3 days?
It's hard to predict because a lot of factors come into play. So what I would say, and I tend to try to avoid predicting because it tends to put pressure on the athletes mentioned, and I don't want to do that. We tend to do that a lot for our athletes, put pressure on them. Let them train, give them all they need to do to train well, whether it's their feeding or their accommodation and everything they need to train, you see that when the athletes has trained well, and the athletes will go there and they will do their thing and they will win. As we have seen in recent years, we have athletes that can make the podium. We have a world athlete. We have a world record holder in Toby Amusho, who is a daughter of this very state.
Same state, yeah.
Do you get? So let's not put pressure on the athletes. Let's not do a prediction of, okay, how many medals are we going to win? Because that is not the only yardstick you can use to measure. For instance, in the last Olympics, you see the way the men did. The way men are now coming up. Before you had women only the ones winning medal, but you now see the men coming up and they're now doing better. We had, like, for the 400 meters hurdle, a finalist.
Go for the gold medalists.
An African under 18 champion from
That's
South Africa,
the South African who is your gold medalist for the under 18 men's long jump event. His brothers and sisters will also be a winner of a medal in this event as we go straight up into the anthem for South Africa for the Upton Town.
Congratulations.
That's the South African anthem. They played for the Argentine today. It looks like they're dominating the game. It's already a successful event for them from what we've seen so far, from day one, day two, and now day three. South Africa doing what they have to do to get what they have to get. Looking to do it three-peat as far as topping the medals table is concerned. They've done it in 2019. They've also done it in 2023. And it looks like they're going to be doing it in 2025.
Yes, the long jump is one of the more popular events in the track and field. We have our favorite Nigerian long jumper, national record holder in Yusuf Ali, who's still holding the record after, I think, over 30 years now. So he's challenged young men in Nigeria to break his record, and I believe they are coming up. They are coming up. He set a high bar, I must admit, for the up-and-coming athletes, and I hope that they can reach it.
It's really a huge one, and knowing what we have right now, let's move on now to pole vault on the 20 men decathlon. We've been here before. We get back to what we have. We've got 4 Algerians on this list, 1 Nigerian and 1 South African. Dek Kwetse is a South African. He just had his national anthem played, and you'll be seeing him have a good jump, or maybe not in the end. We've also got the Algerians challenging for this. It's really, really interesting. And this is South African Kwetse going on to see if he can do it. And just like the national anthem, it looks so beautiful with that jump. This guy is really challenging for it. He's got some good stuff in the earlier stages of the decathlon, from the 100 meters to the 400 meters to the discus. Now he's doing it with the pole vault. And this is where you might be having him. Obviously, the Nigerian Emmanuel Blessing is out as far as pole vault is concerned. He will focus on the other events. He's won the 100 meters for the decathlon added from each event that you have gotten. And each point you get from each event is put all together, and they see who comes out top. You might not win so much of, come first in so much of these events, but if you finish second, maybe in all 10, there's a possibility that you go on to win. And that's what they are looking forward to as we wait for the Algerian, who's next to go on his own pole vault jump.
Yes, Subi, I cannot get over how technical this event is. And that was a really beautifully technique that was executed in that jump. I really can't get over it. I believe the pole vault is the only track and field event I did not attempt. That's to show you how technical it is. I even attempted the hammer.
That's the man, Tohati Walid actually. Beautiful jump. The bar has been raised and he continually does what he has to do. Lifts himself up again after the ball rather, and after the crossbar, and does it brilliantly. What a jump again. It looks like a competition between him and the South African right now. Looks like we'll have 2 Algerians and 1 South African. We'll wait to confirm. But that man, Kwetse, is the man we are also looking at. Both of them have had some great jumps earlier, and they continually do it as far as the bars have been raised. So sure, at least 2 Algerians have been taken out, 1 Nigerian also. We have about 2 or 3 of them left. We'll wait for confirmation from this next bar that has just been raised. So the more they keep jumping, the more the bar is being raised to see who is going to succumb in the end. Just to remind you, it's the decathlon for the under 20 men, and this is the pole vault, like the 7th event.
This is their 8th event.
Their 8th event, they are undergoing. 2 more to go, 10 events and to compete, and points garnered will be added together from each of the events, and who garners the highest points wins the decathlon. It started yesterday and will be ending today. It's a 2-day event. That's what we're looking at. Who wins it? The only decathlon event we have in this CAA under 18, under 20 Africa Athletics Championship.
Any more decathlon and you'll be stressing out the athletes.
Exactly.
Then you want to give them 20 events.
Exactly. There is no under 18, just the under 20s for men, and the women will be doing their pentathlon. That should be starting maybe today or possibly tomorrow. We'll give you the update as far as that is concerned.
Yes, the pole vault is one event that has actually been made popular in recent years by the current world record holder, Amanda Plantes. He basically just tries to break a world record every time he jumps. And the pole vault and the high jump are 2 events where you, as an individual, can decide how you break it. For instance, if the world record is 2 meters, and you can set it at 2 meters 1 and break it. And you don't need to jump again, even though maybe say you have 2 meters 5 in your legs, and you can go to the next event and do it 2 meters 2. And for each world record, you get $100,000.
And I guess this is what the phone makers, the car brands, the footwear makers are doing, the designers. This is what they do exactly. They just make sure that there is something they keep for the next edition for the new year. Now you come, oh, 16 is out, oh, 17 is out, oh, 18 is out. Let's go pick it up. The 2025 edition is mad, it's sleeky, has 3 cameras. Oh, there is a V12 engine for the 20. That's what they do. Just for you to always make sure, oh, I need to upgrade. And you know you also want to set that class over the others. How can he be using the same car with me? How can he be using the same phone with me? I have to go ahead of him. And you get it so easily. Some others have to save to get it. But for the likes of the planters, like you mentioned, so intentional.
Oh, yes. I think he has broken the world record.
If you can come break this one.
He's broken the world record about 30-something times. And before him, we had Abeokuta that was doing the same thing. You know, he said about 30-something records also.
Another person is coming.
Yes.
Another person is coming.
That would be good. And even in the high jump, if you can do that too. Although I think the high jump is a little bit more competitive if you can do that. But you can also do the same thing that they do in pole vault. Just if you're really like at the top, you just keep breaking it 1 centimeter at a time.
Intentionalities from the internationals.
Intentional incentive.
Exactly.
100,000
the money is
incentive.
coming. Yeah, that's really huge. $100,000. But some hear it and it's like no more money to them. But I can tell you, it's all beautiful to see that there are new record sets. That's what makes athletics or sports really interesting. Statistics, what you're able to do the next month, the next event, because they always say you are as good as your last event, your last jump, your last run, your last game. This is what these athletes always put out there. You know, the scream you hear from the commentators, oh, he's done it again, he's broken his own record, you know. It's really a joyful thing, but it's even more joyful when you break some other person's record. So the planters, if you're listening, we want to see some other person break your record.
Sometimes I wonder how, aside from the money, the incentive, because basically when you go for a competition, at some point he's basically the only person still jumping. So I guess that money is a big enough incentive for him to continue jumping without, any other person that he's competing with.
We'll still continue with the pole vault, and this is the Algerian going for another opportunity. It's almost head-to-head at this point. That's the man. And this time around, he misses it.
His technique was a bit flawed. It's like the higher you get, you have to be more technically sound. And he seemed to be, it's fun sometimes when I see people hitch kicking in events where that is not long jump. It really looks funny, but in track and field, you see some funny techniques sometimes when you watch some events.
And you can see his coach trying to tell him what to do, showing him some pictures of what he should do. Getters Walid Faris is that man, still very much present at the pole vault for the under-20 Decathlon men. The 8th event of the 10, still ongoing right here at the MK Abiola Sports Arena, where we are having all of these guys put together. Decathlon is a 10-event sport. This is just for men alone, while we have 7 events for the women, which is pentathlon.
Yes, if you actually look in the world javelin, typically people that come to do the pole vault are people that come from gymnastics, because they have that flexibility and they are used to jumping and spinning from a height. So if you look at typical people that actually go into pole vault, they tend to come from gymnastics, because gymnastics after 18, most of the gymnasts tend to retire, so you can just switch sports from gymnastics to track and field.
Really an interesting thingy. This is what you're seeing right here. Flexible guys but actually hard for some of them. So you know your strength, you can focus on them, and that's what some of the athletes have done. The likes of Blessing Emmanuel, first to be taken off as far as the pole vault event is concerned. Won the 100 meters yesterday and also won the 400 meters. Today we'll be looking to also do more in other events as time goes on. We should be getting closer to knowing our winner. The last athlete won with a total of 6,000 plus points in 2023. We're seeing how much points each of these guys will garner to go on to win. That's the man once again. Getters Walid Fares will be looking to try again. Most likely, the Koete sets the standard, and he has to get what Koete has done to be able to meet up with that height, or at least continue to the next level. So the jump for that man. Getters will lead for us. He's trying to see if he gets past the last. Almost getting the technique perfectly, but same issue again. This time around, his knee touches the crossbar and he brings it down.
And I believe that that is his third and final jump. So he will go take a rest and prepare for the remaining two events.
Looks like the South African has done it when it comes to pole vault for the decathlon. The Koete looks like the only man who has jumped past this. He got it all right, but his left leg was his greatest undoing as far as this is concerned. This is not a joyful thing.
But I think he's one of the top, the athletes in the top, so he might still go away smiling.
Surely, looks like the number 2 man. The only man who has jumped this is the South African. Interesting event still currently ongoing. That's the Decathlon for the men. Doing as much as they can to get things right and find a champion. So, obviously, we'll still have another Algerian. This is what makes it really, really an interesting event. I've always said something, you cannot take music away from sports. This is one of those songs that will make you raise the roof as you enjoy every beat of it. One of those classics from the great man Jasmine Olofin. The song you're listening to on the background. For those of you who love what you call Afrobeat today, this is where some of them started from. Has a bit of some hip hop on the back, and I can see Otoye vibing to it. Exactly why I said I need it on the cameras. Exactly, a Nigerian athlete that is not a good dancer, because it's part of the things you train with, even at the gym. There's always that sound on at the gym when you are out there working out.
Yes, well, when you're doing a typical fitness, but when you're track and field, now depending on the sports, sometimes you need to put your music aside because you need to pay attention, especially if you're doing things like speed work, technique, and probably when you're training in a group, I don't think your coach wants you to be that distracted. So maybe if you have music in the background, but not the one you put in your ear, because he wants to be able to shout and you can hear the instruction he's given.
Facts. We're still looking at the meters gone through. Currently leading is the South African, like I mentioned earlier, the Koetsi is actually done the 3.70 meters alongside Twati Walid, the Algerian, who's also done the same height. That's beat number 886. These are the two leaders as far as the pole vault event from the Decathlon men under 20 is concerned. And like I mentioned earlier, they look like the best at this point. So now it's a battle between Twati Walid and Dekwetsi, the Algerian and the South African, left to do justice to this pole vault event. And that's the South African coming with that same confidence, looking to move to the next height. Most likely the 3.80 meters. That's really going to be a huge one for him. If you convert that to feet, that's them jumping over, is that, it's about 10 feet or more. This is really, really a big deal for the athletes coming all out for this one. Two athletes left now in the final phase. Who wins is what they are looking out for. That's his opponent, Duarte. Also waiting to see if he can do better than the South African. It's all for the points. And that's what they are doing to garner even more for themselves. Dekwetsi is next with a jump, getting one or two instructions from his coach before going on with this one. If you're just joining in, this is the CAA Africa Under-18 Under-20 Athletics Championship, currently ongoing at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Nigeria hosting the third combined event, which started as an idea in 2019 in Côte d'Ivoire. 2023 was held in Zambia. Now we should have been having this in Algeria. For one or two reasons, it was moved to Nigeria. Nigeria quickly picked up the opportunity, using the same venue where the National Sports Festival was held. It was actually won by Delta State. And Ogun State also came very good for this event as hosts, winning the football event, one that had the governor joining in the celebration. Honorable Dapo Abiodun also was part of the trophy presentation. It's also confirmed that a team from the state won the Nigerian Premier Football League, Remo Stars. It looks like this is where it's all happening. as far as Nigerian sports is concerned.
Yes, and we also have, not to mention Toby Amusho,
Also from the
Koya,
state.
even the Director General of the National Sports Commission.
And even Azubuike on the chair. Not the one on the microphone, actually. From the state. Let's go back to the jumps, away from some of the light jokes. The man, Dekwetsi, is ready to go. 3.80 meters. And he misses it. His right knee touches the crossbar and he brings it down. You want to see poor technique?
Well, you know, the higher you go, the more your technique has to be refined, but the more difficult it is to define that technique. So the harder, it will become harder for your technique to look good on camera when it's the bar goes up. But that was not a bad technique.
It was a good jump. He had gone past it just for the landing and missed his target. I think it was his left elbow that touched it first. And that's him looking to jump past 12.48 feet. 12.46 feet actually. That's about 12.5 feet. That's really huge.
Yes, the thing about a lot of the events in track and field is that you have to be conscious of every phase, especially when you're fast. You know, I used to have that problem because once I started, I was on the runway for my jump and I start running. It's like I just blank out and I do things on autopilot. And for pole vault, it's particularly important that you're conscious of every phase, especially when you're going up, when you plant the pole, and when you're going up and when you're coming down. So you can adjust yourself in the air. If you're not conscious of it, then you tend to do things without thinking, and if you have not, if your technique has not been refined, then that's where you now start seeing the mistakes.
And it's time for the Algerian to do his, and he does it perfectly.
Lovely.
One try for the 3.80 meters. He doesn't make a mistake. Tauti Walid is the man. We had 4 Algerians start this one. 3 out already. Left with 1 South African. And just a recap of what we saw earlier. Goes all out, crosses it, and leaves the ball just at the perfect time.
Oh, that was really perfectly executed.
That's the word, perfect execution for the Algerian. He now has the South African to fight and do better than this, or at least meet up. Then they move on to the next level. If not, he will be declared the winner for this. And that man, Dekwetsi, picks it up again. The South Africa picks it up again. Misses out. Looks like he's met his Waterloo. Like he's reached his bus stop. Dekwetsi.
Yeah, I think he touched the bar when he was going up, so there was no adjusting, because in a way you can actually adjust when you're up. That's why I said it's very important that you're all conscious of the whole you're conscious of the whole jump when you go up. If not, it's very hard to be able to adjust yourself.
Same issue again. Same elbow. He's getting this thing right, and it looks like he should get it right on the 3rd attempt. He has seen his errors, and surely he must have felt it. The coach must have called him to tell him, this is the same thing you were doing. And he just needs that psychological motivation at this point to get through.
I think he's in a good place. There are only 2 athletes left attempting. He hasn't gotten his own yet. I think he has 1 more try in this height. And then after that, we only have the Algerian. If he makes it through, then they will go to the next height of 3.9 centimeters.
Dekwetsi goes for his last try for the under-20 men's Decathlon event. He has to make this vault. He has to cross over and make sure that his left arm is not the reason why he's bringing this crossbar down. And they say if your hand is your challenge, cut it off, but not in this situation. Just a contextual statement. And he does it!
Lovely, lovely.
Abeokuta does it! He makes it happen.
So he has 3 more jumps in the next height of 3.90 meters.
Tuati Walid would have felt he had won this one. The Algerian would have been just waiting for this to say,
They look for you.
we're done. And just like some of the spectators out there, can we just get done with this? You might just have to wait one more for the next height, which is 3.90 meters. So skillful about it. Same technique, just understood that these hands have to be raised in the air. What the Igbos call Akan Dinelu. He had to leave his hands up in the air just to make sure that that elbow was not going to come through and bring it down. Perfect jump from that man, Coetzee. And perfect vault at the same time. Lovely stuff we've just seen. This competition continues.
Yes, pole vault is one of the more difficult sports when it comes to Africa, when in track and field. I think very few countries, I think South Africa is leading when it comes to pole vault. Really have athletes that do this event. So I think it's one of those events that we really, in Africa, would like to concentrate on. I wouldn't just say in Africa, even you tend to have a limited amount of countries, like I said, all those countries that tend to do gymnastics. So if you look, the countries that are very good in gymnastics, they tend to be the ones that have athletes that switch to the pole vault. And for me, I believe that Africans, if we put our minds to it, we can do anything. So it's something that we need to develop in terms of one particular event in track and field.
They are pushing through, the South Africans. You see them almost in every of the major sports, track and field. They are really showing that lots of work has been put into this. Day and night they work. They don't just fast and pray. They also come out there to show that this event has to be done with lots of focus, concentration, determination, and energy. And the right coaches were also brought in, and they made this a project. So doing a three-peat is looking almost possible with what we've seen so far. It's easy for you to measure with the amount of times you've heard the South African anthem being played at this stadium from yesterday till now. You cannot argue against the fact that you might hear more as Coetzee goes again for the next height of the jump. Now it's 3.90 meters. It's one very, very technical event. He's shown that he can do it. He did it the 2 times. He did it the last time. He just understands that his elbow had been his greatest undoing, and he got it right the 3rd time of asking. Maybe the same skill he has to put into this one, because you learn more as you try more attempts. 3.90 meters at the pole vault event for the Decathlon men under 20. Yeah, 8 out of 10 track and field events they have to participate in. And this is that man from South Africa, Abeokuta. He goes again and he gets it right. He is now the man to beat. That's Tuati Walid from Algeria, the only Algerian left out of 4 who'll be looking to take the next.
Yeah, and I think he's being fueled by the encouragement he's getting from the crowd. Although we're about to round up the morning event, but you see that the crowds are still there to cheer him on, to push him on, and I think that he's actually gathering a lot of strength from them.
He just saw that it wasn't going to take time to get through this, having understood the technique, that elbow had done him bad twice. He just had to pull through with some ease and understanding. Like you said, this is like the most technical event in athletics, pole vault, and once you understand the techniques, you're good to go. When you thought the Algerians are done, you now have that man, Wefi Mosene, returning to also take his own jump.
Well,
Just
it's
to
not
confirm
over.
that this is still not over. As this man most likely got a bye or had moved on before the others. Beat number 697. He also does it with ease.
Lovely.
No stress.
No fuss.
No fuss. It is getting really, really competitive at this point.
Unlike the normal pole vault where count back counts as the position you will be in, here you just have to make sure in that 3 attempt that you go over the pole for you to get that point. So it doesn't, as long as you go over in that 3 attempt, you're going to get the point, and then the bar is going to move up for you.
Some bit of skill right there. This is some events that you love to watch. I love the pole vault a lot. It is really, really beautiful on the, in front of the cameras, but at the same time, you don't know what these athletes go through to even be able to rehearse or practice this.
For me, the pole vault is like.
Why do you hold your thoughts? Let's have the Algerian. Taoti, the man who was there to be beaten, has now missed his own first jump for the 3.90 meters. Standards have been raised, bars have been increased. And this time, he gets it wrong. Poor technique, if you ask me.
When he planted, he wasn't able to get himself to go over the bar, so you see he didn't even cross over the bar. Like you said, the technique didn't work for him this time.
He has to work on that. He has to do so much work on that particular jump. He has to go again. I think he's the only man left to cross this. Hussein Gwefi Mosene do it. Hussein Dekwete also do it. And we have the second Algerian, the one who set the standards earlier, Tuati Walid, looking to get through this height.
I remember when I started watching pole vault, for me it used to look like you know, the circus with somebody doing a death-defying stunt. That was how the pole vault was to me, and it's really a death-defying stunt, because you really have to be able to, when you plant the pole, go over, then twist yourself, and you know, come down again in the other direction, facing the other direction.
He almost got through it.
Oh, but we know that nearly doesn't kill a bird.
It never kills a bird. Tuati Walid is that man from Algeria. He set the standards for the 3.80 meters. He's struggling now with 3.90. And he went really hard on this one. Went past it already, had his elbow bring it down. And this time around, he has to try for the last time. Look at the technique. That same hand that was almost costing Goetzi until he got it right at the third attempt. He has one more attempt to go.
Yes.
Tuati Walid.
And one thing that you can do as an athlete, let's say you are jumping 3.8 meters and you take 2 attempts. You can actually pass on the 3rd attempt, and then you go to the 3.9, but for that 3.9 you only have now 1 attempt. So that's part of the rules in this thing. So you have athletes using that rule when they're placing 4th, and if they jump over the next attempt, to put them on the medal table, so they pass on that final attempt and take it on the next one to see if they can overtake the other athletes.
Thank you for breaking these things down. That's the voice of Tonye Iworima, a multiple medalist at different events representing her nation, Nigeria, both at the continental level and the Olympics. Not forgetting the Commonwealth. The Algerian Tuati Walid is ready to go. His final attempt. Can he get it right like Kwadzi? And he does get it right.
Oh, we had some people predicting the fail, but he went over
against the voices of some people who didn't want you to get it right. Some people from some other villages saying the Algerian will not do it.
Look
He
at the
has
smile on
finally
his
done
face.
it.
He's really happy with that jump, and so are we.
I wish I could expose some voices who were saying he couldn't do it from the spectators. But he did it right. And like I said, he just needed to understand what the challenge had been. He has seen his own doing. He left it early enough after lifting himself so high and releases that arm, that elbow that was a challenge.
You know, sometimes it's nerves. It's not that the person does not have the technique. It's the nerve. And sometimes you need that final attempt, you know, that to ginger you and tell you it's like a do or die thing. Now.
And you see the roar from him. Tuati Walid, feeling like he's won the gold already. That scream, so joyful. But it doesn't matter what you feel about him. He has done it. But the more they do those things right, the more it's extended. That's the challenge with this event, pole vault. The more they get it right, the more they compete against themselves, the more they look to meet up with what the other person has done, the more time it takes.
I remember in the Olympics, the same thing happened when Amanda Plantis was jumping. The whole event was over, it was only pole vault, and he kept on going until he just decided, okay, I'm just going to go for a world record. Everybody had finished like 20 centimeters back, and he was like, okay, I'll just go for a world record. So he took it 20 meters forward to attempt a world record, and he made it. In his final and third attempt. Third, I think, yes, the final one, the third one. And he just made it was such a joyous occasion. His father was there, his mother was there, his girlfriend was there, everybody was celebrating.
And his $100,000 was also there, waiting for him.
So true, so true.
The Planters, when you talk about pole vault, that's the name that comes to mind. It's almost become a household name in some homes. That's just one man who understands this pole vault thingy so well.
Technicality involved. In fact, we think he still has a lot more. He's just saving it for the world record for several occasions, for different competitions.
That man, Dekweti, is back. He most likely wouldn't be happy with the situation. He would have just thought it would be a head-to-head event. But right now, he has two other Algerians to still battle with. Look at him just under the tents, trying to take some rest before he gets them to make a jump again. And you can see the Algerians supporting their own. They're very much focused on this. They wouldn't want to see other Algerians or one South African come to defeat four Algerians from this same event, just like the Nigerian did in the 100 meters and 400 meters races for the same decathlon yesterday. And you can see some others arguing the situation. The security official and some of the fans enjoying the events, and that's what Nigeria is made of.
It's nice to see sometimes when you watch some of this event, the technical, like the jumps and the throws, to see spectators analyzing. You sometimes you have spectators analyzing and trying, like placing a bet on how long or who will jump or what kind of mistake the athletes would make, and then you get to understand that these spectators are, when it comes to, they're technically sound in the event that they are watching, so they can confidently make predictions like that. So that's the kind of thing we want. We want people to come, get interested in the sport, go back to your research, know about the sport. Either you maybe bring your children, they start participating, and you be a spectator that is technically sound enough to, like if you're watching the long jump, predict what the person has jumped without seeing the score on the screen.
Just expert analysis right there, and also advice them for the event planners as far as our sport is concerned, and even the parents listening at this point. It shouldn't just be one sport. There are so many, and there are so many spaces up right there that you can just look at and say, this is the event I want to practice. Even for the children, all of these things are brought to your screen. Some of them have come here to see this stuff, and they feel, Nigeria's not doing well here, I want to pick this up. It's a challenge beyond you just watching on your screen.
Yes, I believe we've seen that I've seen that in swimming, where you don't really have Nigeria, then you see one parent pick it up and like, okay, my child can do this, and you see the athletes do that. I even remember once I was working in the archery federation, and I was like, we hunt in our country. We use bow and arrow in the village at some point in time, so why can't I shoot this? So, and I went to go try it, and I fell in love with the sport.
That's just how it starts. We must say once again, thank you to our media partners who are currently beaming this event live. The one from the whole state, OGTV. We've also got AIT. There is Super Sports 208. There's also Startimes, SABC Sports, and TVC. Not forgetting Team 33 Production, the YouTube channel where you can also stream this ongoing CAA African Under 18 Under 20 Athletics Championship. This is some beautiful faces of Nigerians having some conversation, getting ready for their event. As we get back to the pole vault event, Abeokuta is ready, the only South African for the Decathlon men's under 20 event. It's time for him to take the next jump for the 4.0 meters. 4.10 meters actually. We're looking forward to seeing how he's going to get through this. He is very much ready for this 4.10 meters. Abeokuta, this is a new height now, and it's about who gets past it that wins. Most likely we'll be having the final jumps or the final pole vault here. This man is something else. He didn't need a second attempt. Abeokuta, he was almost going to be knocked out when he was 3.80, but he does it brilliantly at every other jump. The South African, he has done it again, and he set the standards for the others to meet up with. 4.10, Abeokuta, the first jumper from South Africa, has gotten it right.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I would say that he probably is going to also take part in the pole vaults, the normal pole vault. Yes, I would really be expecting him in that one. That's really good. That's a really good jump.
Really, really good, I tell you. Who is next? Which of the Algerians come next? Zigwefi, Mosane, or Tuati Walid? These are the men to challenge the South African. Conversation still happening. Some officials still sharing some information, and you can see the Algerians supporting their own. And it's time for that man, Tuati Walid, his first attempt for the 4.10 meters. Will he get it right? And he does miss the first, just as he did at the last. It looks like that man who always does it on the third. He has two more attempts. As Abeokuta will be resting at this point, the other Algerians will be looking to do this one. He goes to get some words from his coach and just a review of what he did from this jump.
Yes, we can see his takeoff. You see the side, yes, touched it. Like you said, it's a higher. The height has been taken up, so like I said, your technique needs to be a little bit more pristine for you to be able to. But then again, the higher it is, the more difficult it will be. So, like you said, this is his first attempt. He seems to be very good at comebacks. So he still has two more. So anything is still possible.
Anything is still possible. And, he will still believe that all things will still work together for him. See, is continually pushing to get things right in this event. The 8th event of the 10 from the under 20 men's decathlon. And that was Tuati Walid missing out on this. He has the second opportunity to go again. And he has to get this right. Even if he misses out on getting this one right, he has one more chance. As that man Dirk Kwetsi of South Africa is waiting for him. Can be really tiring, but very competitive and interesting an event.
We know that the pole vault is very technical, but it's a lot more technical in a lot of ways. In things like, you know, you have to come with your own pole, and then the transportation of that pole. If you see that it's a long pole, I can't remember what the length is, but the transportation of that pole can also pose a problem or the technical issues when you're traveling with it. Also with things like the javelin. If you're traveling with a javelin, you know, back in the days, the javelin used to be a hunting tool. So when you're traveling with a javelin, you know, it can be, the security-wise, is something that you have to watch out for, because even if you have to make sure they don't even damage your equipment as they're trying to, you know, bring it into whichever country you're going to go and compete. So, but all in all, track and field, there's sports that usually you just have to wear the spike shoe for those most of the events. It's the throws, the hammer is easier, the hammer, the shot put, and the discus is probably easier to transport. But the pole vault and the javelin might have a little bit more passing through customs, and this thing might have a bit more challenges.
This is it for him, the second attempt. Tuati Walid, and this time around he fails woefully.
Yes, he seemed to be in a hurry in this one, which is something that, funny enough, happens frequently when you know, the pole goes higher and you're trying to, you know, adjust yourself.
Some poor landing right there. He will not be happy with himself. Same challenge, trying to move with each side. His ribs most likely let him down in that situation.
He needs to take a deep breath, calm himself, because the technique is in him. It's not like he doesn't have it, but sometimes it's too nervy, you know. The anxiety of you thinking that you need to get over that jump can mess with your form, and you might miss the bar. So he needs to take a deep breath. He has one more. Like we said, there's a suicide. He has one more jump, so it's a suicide. It's the last one, and you're out. So take a deep breath, relax, and do what you already know to do.
We saw an Egyptian win it last time with 5 meters. As Tama Ashraf Mohammed, just for the pole vault event, not the decathlon. He specialist as far as pole vault is concerned, could do 5 meters. I think they are close to even done over 4 meters, but there is still more to be done. And that's why you're a specialist in all 10 events, but have strength more in some other events. And that's what these athletes have shown on some of the earlier events done. The other jump is going to be happening right now, which is his third, and most likely will be having that man Tuati Walid either lose or qualify to the next round.
Well, for that Egyptian to do 5 meters in the pole vault back then, that must have been his favorite. The pole vault must have been his favorite event, because 5 meters, even on the Olympic stage, you have some decathletes that don't even do up to 5 meters in the pole vault. So that must have been his best event for the decathlon, for him to do a 5 meters in the pole vault.
He has himself seated, trying to relax to see what he can get out of this. Taking his time, surely.
Yes, you have to. The athletes have, especially if you're the only one still jumping. I can't remember, I think you have about 3 minutes to rest before you take the next jump. You can forego that 3 minutes. Some athletes tend to just want to do it all the time, but you have an amount of time to rest before you take your next jump.
Reciting, most likely praying at this point in time. Tuati Walid, he has to get this one right. It's a win or bust for him as far as this pole vault event is concerned for the men's under 20 decathlon. The 8th event of the 10, which all started yesterday, with Emmanuel Blessing, the one who reigned supreme in the sprint races. getting out early, not even being able to get past the first height of the pole, of the vault actually.
You know, at this stage, the athletes, you've done 7 events. The athletes know what their total score is and what their position is. And then maybe if you compare to maybe you have another athlete leading you and you know how many points you need to overtake the next athlete, and maybe that point is that you have to jump 4.20. So that's where your target will be, even if this is not your best event, but you know that if your next event, if you jump 4.20, you're going to overtake the other athletes. So that's basically a numbers game also in the decathlon.
He's ready to go for it. Like I mentioned earlier, is winner boss for him, and he has to put in all the energy, all the technicalities, and all the focus at this point. He's also recited his prayers, believing that his God can help him through in this situation. Tauti Walid takes off. Couldn't even go past. I think he's doubting his instinct.
His runner probably didn't work, because if you don't get the proper stride length, you don't place your feet in the proper place, you will not be in the good position to plant the pole. So you might as well not jump.
He will go back now. Has one more chance to do it. Instead of jumping and not getting it right, he just slowed down towards the jump and takes a walk back. He's asking for that support from his Algerian counterparts. Checking the ball so well. Getting ready to make that jump now as he makes the run. He misses it, and it's a red flag. That's a no jump. That's a poor jump.
That's his third and final jump. So he can now go rest for the afternoon session.
Just a recap of what you saw earlier. Makes the run, looked very focused, but couldn't even do the jump itself. I think he was already playing in his head that he couldn't get it right. He looked taller than what he had been doing before. It was just a 10-centimeter increase from what he did the last time. This is just how it ends for him at this point in time.
So we have the South African, that's the only athletes now left. So it's for this one, unlike normal pole vault, if you want to create space, so he's going to jump as much as he can to be able to create enough points so that he can lead his fellow athletes in this distance, so he could go on for as much as he could go on until he misses his 3 jumps.
I think this is what they're doing right now. They've moved it from 4.10 to 4.30 for what we have on the book. It's been taken back now to 4.20, which is the next height, some centimeters added. This is for that man, Dek Kwetsi from South Africa. Looks like the only South African has defeated the other Algerians and the Nigerian from the 6. It's just about knowing how he goes in the end. Actually started with 5 of them for this event. 3 Algerians, 1 South African, and 1 Nigerian. The bar has been taken higher. So with what we have, Dek Kwetsi will still be challenging Chetas. But rather, still be challenging Gwefi Mosine, the other Algerian. intensity of the battles, but most likely will be reaching the end soonest. Lots of them have dropped out, and it's just for the best of them to show who actually the champion is for this event. We're still on the CAA African Under 18 Under 20 Athletics Championship, ongoing right here at the MKO Abeokuta Sports Arena. We'll take a breather, then we'll return to continue with the event right here at the main bowl of the stadium. We'll still have a whole lot for the afternoon session. And just like we told you earlier, medal presentations have been done. There will still be more to be won, and we are still enjoying the ball votes as we watch out for the winner for this particular one.